Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mamiya Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley. Heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Hopefully y'all can hear me just fine. I got a different microphone with some different settings, and I got everything set up kind of different. So hopefully everything is alright. Hopefully everything is alright. It's like I'm not gonna know officially how I sound till I replay this shit back. But hopefully everything is good. Hopefully everything is good. But what's going on? Salute and shout out to everybody that's in the building right now. People already coming through bright and early. Dropping some super chats on there. Alright. Let me stroll on up. Scroll on up. I said stroll on up. I feel like something don't sound right. Let me know if anything sound odd with the cause something feel odd because I was playing with new equipment, but hopefully everything good. But what's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome everybody into the show. We getting things started. Shout out to those that made it in bright and early, or as I call it, the early bird squad. And Jessica X came through bright and early. Says like the video, and yes, I do that. Like the video on the way in. DJ Moss is in the building. What's up? Salute and shout out to DJ Moss. Boomer Sooner in the building. What's going on? Sir Tice. D-Rock Den. What the hell? All right, I'm gonna drop the link to Ty City's channel because I think Tiara So Wavy is looking for Ty City, so I'm gonna drop the link for Ty City channel. I think that's who she's looking for. I mean, that's who they looking for. I don't know. I did a one-on-one with Ty City and this person just popped up. Must be a Ty City fan. I don't know. She got to make sure the link is available so Ty City fans know where to find them. D-Rock Den in the building. D Anderson. New in the building. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Black Wolf Inc. came through the super chat bright and early, says Shazam, bitches, Shazam. Ephraim McKenzie, DeMac the Trucker, Jedi Mac, Ty City in the building with a super chat. He says no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Uh-oh. Soul Provider in the building, Golden Child. What's going on? Salute to Golden Child. Casey Onyema, Emin Perry. Man, we about to get this thing started today. People gradually filing on in here. We got 69 people in here. Hit the like button on the way in. Kill Deuce, what's happening? Aegon Stark, I don't know if I skipped you. Jessica X is saying hi and thank you to somebody. Perhaps she's saying hi and thank you. Maybe somebody congratulated her on the another good show that she had going on over there that kind of went down. Talking about, I'm going to be touching on that Tommy Sotomayor, Angela Stanton too. If you're a little perceptive, you can see that I'm kind of talking about that in the title. But I didn't feel like being heavy-handed with it and putting her face in the thumbnail and all of that. Because I'm be talking about it, but around it, but about it. That's kind of what's going to be going on here because I just, I don't know. I didn't feel like hitting them over the head heavy with that shit today, but Sugar G in the building says good morning, Bernard, and everybody joining the Grown Man Hour. Speaking of the Grown Man Hour, there's a intro that is being that Ty City, not Ty City, SKC almost got done and ready to go for me. So will be a show intro coming up pretty soon. A lot of changes, a lot of things coming pretty soon. Ty City, why you fronting, man? You know. I ain't gonna play around with you like that. Oh shit, man. Yeah, for those that don't know, me and Ty City did a one-on-one and did a one-on-one on Saturday. Really, really great show, great show. Whenever me and Ty City do a one-on-one, it ended up being a classic. It ended up going down. Our one-on-one part be good, but then for some reason, every time the when we open it up, it's like it ended up being a classic. It just so we did like 3 one-on-ones. Every one ended up being a classic. I don't even know if Ty City even realized that. Like 2 out of the 3 times, O'Shea ended up on the damn panel. That first time was the one when it really went down, where the infamous showdown took place that I'm not about to rehash. Whenever me and Ty City do a one-on-one, shit go down. But for those that don't know, on Saturday, apparently, I blame Ty City. Correctly or incorrectly, I blame Ty City. As he calls it, I thought he said transformer, but then he said transmissions. Yeah, one of them just popped up when me and Ty City did a one-on-one, and I blamed it on Ty City being cammed up and all crisp and clear with the nice new camera settings. He looking all shiny and crisp over there with the high definition camera. I was like, all right, Ty City, bringing them out, bring them out. But I was like, no. But I blame Ty City on that one. He says he wondered whose platform the transmissions came from. I don't know. I mean, we have little evidence right now, Ty City, but from the looks of things, man, you brought him out, man. We did that one-on-one. They just popped up in here. Just popped up in here on you. You got to turn that camera off, man, if you're bringing them out like that. All right, Black Wolf Inc. in the building. He says, money world, baby. What's going on? Black Wolf be bringing it. Yeah, I'm blaming Ty City on that one, man. Yeah, he brought him out. Oh, man. Let me take a little sip, then I can get started. Ready to see scrolling across the bottom of the screen. That's the Cash App information. And speaking of the Cash App, I think somebody already came through with a Cash App. So let me check that out before I get started. Excuse me. D-Rock Den says for Tuesday Morning Fire. Oh yeah, one thing. I like doing that Saturday morning thing so much that I might, emphasis on might, do Tuesday through Saturday. I can't even talk right now. I gotta take the sip, like I said, so I can clear my mouth out. But I might do Tuesday through Saturday. I might do that. Instead of Monday through Friday. I don't know. I don't know. That's floating out there. But that Saturday went really well. So I am going to be trying some Saturdays. So rather I'm going to go Monday through Saturday and just take one day off, or just go Tuesday through Saturday and and just take Monday and Sunday off. I don't know. But I'm going to fill that out. I want to fill that out. And right there, while I'm talking, Black Wolf just came through on the Cash App end. He says, "Booyah, I'm feeling good today." Uh-oh. Oh, and D-Rock Dan said, "Tuesday morning fire." All right. Let's get going here. I got a number of things I'm about to. I got a number of things I'm about to get into here. Mr. Negative Man says, "But my ass, pick one." Assuming he's referring to the title, because I said women are children, but. And that butt is kind of, the butt matters, because we've built a society here. And by we, I mean, people in general in the Western world, but specifically men, that, obviously makes it easier for women to, to be adults, to be grown and be independent and not need no man, strip society and culture away, and all of that shit is done. And women are in a position where they just full blown have to be taken care of, like children. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more. Before I really dig deep into that, I do want to address something. This is a subplot, and I'll try not to spend that much time on it. Now, y'all know I have a habit of responding to the breakdown a woman's perspective videos without watching them. But fortunately, what I'm responding to now is not a video. It was a comment. So I'm in good grounds now. A question that was put in the community tab that popped up on my feed. It says, "Can a man be an effective leader if he is cheating on his wife?" Now, speaking of them being children, that's a childish question to ask. But no, it was a question that was put in the community tab that last I looked, the people was responding to it. I didn't even read the responses, but it is a question that was put on the table. Can a man be an effective leader if he is cheating on his wife? Problem with that question, like I said, fellas, we gotta start rejecting the premise of the question. We have to start rejecting the premise of these questions that they're asking, because it does one or two things. It does that question does one or two things. It implies that a man is only leading, like the only leading that man does that matters is the leading of his wife. That's either that's one of the implications there, or is she saying, can he effectively lead other things in other ways while cheating on his wife on the side? Those are things that would have to be hashed out before somebody could adequately answer that question. That would have to be hashed out. So Provider says, "Y'all be getting baited." I don't know what you mean by that. By baited? If somebody has a YouTube channel and they ask a stupid question, I can point out that the question is stupid. That's not baited. It could be baited if you're triggered, if you get upset, if it bothers you, if you can't sleep at night because of it, then okay, somebody baited you and triggered an emotional response. But I'm gonna respond to, goofy shit happening, in the space, in the sector, regardless of, regardless, it's coming from Sister George or a male content creator. Goofy shit needs to be responded to by somebody. But, and I see what a lot of people are saying already in the chat. Hold on, Caesar D1 came through the super chat. Appreciate that. Hashtag get it off your chest Saturday show title salute. Yeah. That's a good one. Get it off your chest Saturday. My man Cut to the Chase says, how a man treats his woman in life has nothing to do with his leadership. But see, that's the subtle fuckery that I'm pointing out. That it's a self-serving argument with I believe the intention to apply that if you're not properly leading your woman, then you're not a good leader. No matter what you accomplish, it don't mean nothing unless a woman is benefiting from it. I think that's the subtle splash of fuckery that's being tossed in there. If a woman ain't at the end of it, then you're on some bullshit and you're not on good grounds. And also, the other wave of bullshit in the question is that why are they talking about being effective leaders? If leadership is what they cared about, then leadership would be a prerequisite before they gave raw sexual access to a man. It's clearly not. It's clearly not. Height, yes. Swag, yes. Good looks, yes. Leadership skills, no. We can look at results and see that leadership is not the prerequisite. So a lot of these discussions, they just come from, they're rooted in bullshit. And in that way, Soul Provider does have a point. It's designed just to bait you. But it's like we know that it's bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, let me pull up the YouTube feed real quick before I get going any further. Because I have no idea the degree or level of the likes that we got going on here. So let me pull up the feed, pull up the stream really quick. Excuse me, but it's something else that I did want to get into. But I do got to pull up the stream to see how we looking on the likes. Somebody let me know in the chat. How we looking on the likes? I don't got the stream up. I can't see shit. Also, one real quick response. This one came directly from Concrete Rose. A man apparently said, and she screenshotted it, she says, you either take my last name or there ain't nothing to talk about. No hyphens either. That's referring to a woman whose name after she gets married is Lisa Johnson Wilson or some shit. He's saying ain't none of that. You take my last name or nothing at all. And Concrete Rose specifically posted that one, and she says, my timeline has been flooded with this ongoing debate over this king's statement. Called him a king. He says, I personally think he has, okay, I shouldn't, she didn't say it with all that intensity. She says, I personally think he has every right to enforce his requirements. What are your thoughts? I just want to point out that when a lot of times when women do that, and they say, I personally think he has every right to enforce his requirements. Notice she didn't say whether she agreed or disagree, whether she think he is right or wrong, whether he should or shouldn't do that, or whether or not women should or shouldn't comply to it. She just said, I think he has every right to enforce his requirements. I love the non-statements built into the statements. you have every right to wear a pink dress with yellow polka dots and a clown nose to somebody's funeral. You got every right to do that. But should you do it? Should people allow you to do it? Should people comply with that? Should everybody be okay with that? Is it right or wrong? You notice? No answer was given. That's what I call aim. I sucked at selling cars. I talk about this because you got to be kind of a swindler. That's just reality of the situation. You got to be kind of a swindler to be a really good car salesman, or bare minimum, you got to have what's, I don't want to spark a debate, but you got to have game. And when it came to that, that quick talking, that fast talking game, I didn't have that, or at least at the time, maybe. At least at the time. I mean, I've gotten better at it, but you got to be able to take that person who just walked on the car lot and said, "Nah, man, I'm just looking. I'm just looking." You got to be able to mind fuck that person into making a $50,000 purchase. You got to take somebody who was just looking and turn and game their ass down to where now they've made a life decision. And that take a lot of game. And one of the techniques and tactics in doing that is when that person asks a question, you have to not answer it. You have to do what they call AIM. Acknowledge, ignore, and move on. You acknowledge the question, but simultaneously while you're acknowledging the question, you're ignoring the question, and then you're moving the conversation on in a different direction where you want it to go, to where the person doesn't even realize that they didn't get a solid answer to the question. And that's more or less what Concrete did right there. She just moved it on to whether or not he has the right. She acknowledged that he did it, but she ignored whether or not it was right or wrong, agree or disagree, or whether or not women should comply to it, and then just moved it along to whether or not he has the right to do it. You see what happens there? My man New says she can hyphen right out the door. Yeah. Yeah, Ty City, they want to marry you and be in position to take half your shit, but can't even rock your last name all the way. They gonna take half your shit while half-assing you. He said, did somebody say game? They trying to take half your shit while half-assing you. But anyway, to the topic. She says, I want my husband's last name. I got a sneaky suspicion that if a dude came to you and said, look, baby, I want you to have my last name, I get the feeling you'll go with that. I mean, if no, I'm sorry, I said it back. He's like, look, baby, I want to have your last name. I get the feeling you'll go with that. Oh shit, Leo Anthony, my bad. I think she'd go with that. I think she'll let a dude rock her last name. I think she'd do that. Oh shit, now I'm distracted. I'm all in YouTube. I saw Jessica X posted it with 61 likes. We got 135 people. Hey, I'm listening to the playback and it do sound good. My new mic does sound pretty good. But anyway. Yeah, I'm confident Sister George will give her last name away to a man. Yeah. She'll do that. Leo Anthony says that argument basically is applying if you don't do everything a woman approve of as a man, you're not doing anything. Boom! There you go. You summed up everything I was attempting to say. You summed it up in one sentence. Good job. Shout out to you. Salute. Salute. That was good. That was good right there. That was good right there. But to the question on the table, on the dais today, that are women children? As I alluded to early on when I was getting things started, the question implies a few things. It implies a few things. Because a lot of people in the black manosphere tend to say that. I shouldn't even say the black manosphere. I should say the manosphere in general. Say that a lot. Like, say that an awful lot. That, look, man, they're children. They can't be left in charge of anything. They can't be trusted with any decision and all of this and all of that. But here we are with a society that's built and constructed in a way to where it's easy for them to get in position. It's easy for them to be in positions of leadership. You know, you strip society, civilization, and culture out the way, they would become de facto children in many ways, you know, in many ways. Maybe if you just took all the homes and houses and just put us all out in the wilderness, maybe everything that we've learned through modern civilization, we would, try to maintain some of that. But if you just go back thousands of years ago, yeah, women, their job was to gather berries and nurse babies. That was their job. And the man's job required more heavy lifting. Going out in the wilderness to hunt was a really hard job without a gun. And whether or not everyone lived or died, was contingent upon whether or not that hunt was successful. Whether or not everybody lived or died was contingent upon whether or not the men protected the camp from fucking wild wolves or saber-toothed tigers or whatever the hell. All of that mattered. All of that was important back then. And so it was just unheard of for a woman to be in a position of power because there was no civilization and culture. There's no feminism unless, that's one of the odd things about feminism, unless men have ultimately done the hard work of making society safe and function and work right, women can never, raise up and say, we want these rights. That's the odd thing about it. That's the really odd thing about it. But yeah, you strip all that away, they do in a very real way end up in a childlike role or just a step above a child because they do got to care for children. So in that way, you can't really say that they're children, but their overall level of responsibility, it's in a childlike capacity. It's a clear, instant power dynamic between male and female, and it don't matter if she's smart. Maybe she can shoot or run a good idea about a man, but the man got to go do the shit. But society is built right now to where, like I've said this on the air, like my woman, she's practically a mathematician, That was a skill set 50,000 years ago. That it don't matter how good a woman could remember equations and formulas back then. It was a useless skill. Pick berries, nurse babies, yeah. Go. That was that was pretty much it. But right now, and IQs between men and women is not that much difference. And society is easy. And all of these really safe but somehow unprotected women are able to move through society and man world and tell people what to do and make big decisions and run for office. Run for office even. And what it seems like most men are coming to the conclusion that we ultimately, when we're doing that, we're giving the power of adults to people who think like children. Now, of course, it's on a bell curve, but that's more or less the argument that's being put out there. Marty W. He says, sisters want a complaint. Sisters want a. Oh, I'm sorry. Sisters want a compliant virtue signal. Oh my goodness. Sisters want a compliant virtue signaling simp that they can extract resources from. The black woman is God. Hotep. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Aegon Stark says, come on, Bernard, those men were oppressive because they brought rabbit when their women wanted fish. Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, that is some true shit, though, with Marty W. was getting at. It does seem as if most women, if they could have their way, they would want a good looking, money making, but yet controllable man so they can have their cake and eat it too. They can have a good looking guy, they can have a guy who makes the money, but he's still kind of a punk that does what you want. Because that's where the exaggerated claim of, well, that's where the myth that if you get with a successful man, or shout out to Kevin Samuels, a high value man, that well, you're going to be facing some kind of abuse. You're going to be facing some kind of hardship on the back end. That he's going to be cheating on you, he's going to be beating on you, he's going to be he's going to be making you scrub the bathroom floor with a toothbrush. That's where that comes from. But yeah, they want a good-looking man. Excuse me. They want a good-looking man with money who they can control. Definitely. But it could be certainly argued that back in the day, they definitely were children. The male-female power dynamic was clear-cut, clean, and obvious. It was nothing that a woman could do to level herself up to get her own bag back then, to where she could feel like she could stand eye to eye with a man and argue with a man or say what she got to say or this or that or blah, blah, blah. None of that was a thing back then. None of that was a thing back then. And the world has been created to where now that's a thing. The world has been built to the point to where now that's a thing. A woman can go to school, and I mean, if she's genuinely smart, she can get an engineering degree and make a lot of money and beat her chest and talk her shit to men who don't make as much money as her. Can be a little less compliant to men who don't make as much money as her. That's why a lot of men are in a position where, I mean, they're like, hey, I'm not dealing with a woman that makes more money than me, because it normally comes with bullshit. There should be some type of power dynamic in the relationship. It should. That's why I mentioned Kevin Samuels again. He that's part of the reason why he talked about a man, should be successful and should be older than the woman. I actually heard a woman say that. Irene Yvette says, she gave some dating advice. She said, be the youngest person in the relationship. She's to women. She said, be the youngest person in the relationship and the most beautiful person in the relationship, and you'll be happy. Because even if you're 35 and he's, 45, in your own way, you're still bringing some youth and beauty to the table. A 45-year-old man may look at that 30-something-year-old woman and may look at her still, as a, it's a young, hot thing. We can talk shit all we want about the wall, but a 45, most 45-year-old men, they see it. They see a 30-something walking around. They acknowledge this as a, a nice looking woman. It's some that got it, it's some that got it going on like Kevin Samuels, where he could just scratch that off the list and go drop down to 25. But for the most part, you know, yeah, if you're younger and you're the most attractive person in the relationship, you're in a position where you're bartering and trading the main thing that a man, you know, wants. And you're getting from that man the main thing that women allegedly want. You want somebody who's smarter than you, who knows some things that you don't know, who can essentially lead. You want him to be in that position. At least it's better for you to be with a man who's in that position where he does have a power dynamic. He does have some leadership. He does make more money than you. He is wiser than you. He is, it's overall better like that. But if you don't want that, then you're essentially saying, then, hey, I want an equal partnership. And if that's what, some women come out and say that that's what they want. So there it is. Sister George asked the question, so do you really think women want masculine men? Some do, some don't, but then the elephant in the room with that question is, what do you mean by masculine? I don't know exactly where that question is coming from. So do you think they really want masculine men? I think they want to win. That's what it is. They want to win. All right. And if they think they can't win with a truly masculine man who's masculine in the sense that he's going to be in control, you ain't gonna run him. You ain't gonna tell him what to do. You ain't gonna make him bend on something. You're not gonna make him, say that he's okay with something that deep down we can tell he ain't okay with. Long as ain't nothing like that going on, I think that's what it will come down to. You want to be able to do what you want to do. If being with that masculine man means that you're not going to be able to do what you want to do, then that will be a determining factor. Do you want to eat healthy or do you want to eat pizza? Well, pizza for damn sure tastes good. I love a nice pizza with everything on it. But if you're with a masculine man who's, he's put his foot down that he's going to be a certain way, he's going to act a certain way, he's going to, have a certain level of health and fitness. Oh, and you are too, by the way. So this is the type of stuff I want you cooking. This is no, you can't order that. We're, if we're talking about masculine as a man who knows what he wants and he's going to do it and his woman's going to comply with it. Do women want to comply with that? That's like asking, do women want to eat vegetables, and skinless grilled chicken and vegetables for dinner, or would they rather have pizza and ice cream? So that's what So that's why I ask the questions. It depends on what do you mean by a masculine man? Because now if you're talking about a masculine man, meaning, he know how to walk, he know how to walk the right way with his shoulders swaying, and he got big shoulders, and he got that walk, that vibe where he just looked like he could fuck the shit out of you, and ooh, he masculine. Yeah, y'all do want that. Y'all want that, of course. That's why I said the question is set up in a way to where you're not really, it's hard to get down to the bottom of it. There's always so much to unpack whenever you ask a question. Always so much to unpack whenever you ask a question. It's like you ask them vague on purpose. Patrice O'Neill, he says, women do not want to win. They want a winner. They want a man that is a man that makes them be a woman. Interesting. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I think a woman with her head on her shoulders A woman with her head on shoulders will rock with that. A woman with her head on her shoulders will definitely rock with that because I think it is the case that you would more or less, a woman is getting with a winner. Okay, here's a problem. Here's a problem. I gotta unpack shit. I think I know what Patrice O'Neal means when he says they want a man that is a man that makes them be a woman. I believe he's defining it as a woman that being in a submissive position to a man. I think he's defining it like that. Where I got some disagreement with them, I think there's a overwhelmingly, I don't even know if this is a disagreement, but I think there's an overwhelmingly high percentage of women who don't necessarily want to be in that submissive position, but I'm not talking about temporary fucking, because I hate when the conversation get hijacked by, women submit to me, but okay, you just short term fucking them. They only got to submit to you for however long it takes for you to bust a nut. Like that's the easy part. Completely different skill set if you're talking about actual submission. So I want to get that part off the table real quick. So when you're talking about they want what did it say? They want a man that is a man and makes them want to be a woman. He's defining it. I believe he's defining it as a woman being in that submissive position. However, I think when women start talking and you start listening and they start talking about the type of man that they would be, I'm using quotes here, willing to submit to, I've literally heard women put that shit so far out in left field to where it was the top 2 or 3% of men. So there's that. Meanwhile, that woman is, average looking. So there's that. So short of having that man that provides them such a comfortable lifestyle to where they're just a fucking they're Bambi on a patch of ice around him. A guy who does short of that, they're now entitled or justified in engaging in their fuckery. And that's what it really comes down to when you see things like, questions that are being asked. I'm not just picking on the breakdown right now, but because there's a lot of women that talk about that, what must a man do to get a woman's total submission or complete submission or full submission or this or that or blah, blah, blah. A lot of time what they're talking about isn't embedded in some bullshit. But thanks for the super chat, Black Wolf Inc. Appreciate that. Shout out to Naima posting the links. Y'all hit the links. The Patreon been at a standstill for a while. So I think I'm gonna have to put some Patreon exclusive content. I'm gonna put some controversial shit on the Patreon to get people to go sign up. What the fuck is going on here? You are worthless if you don't take his name. Uh-oh. Let me scroll on up and see what y'all talking about. Alright, I can't find nothing. I don't know if Black Wolf just came out of left field with that. But anyway, we shall see. Absolutely, Meryl Predelis says they need to explain Will Smith. Yeah, I think that's a dead in the water thing. That if a man does this, then you'll do that. You're going to be who you are based off your character. And if your character is good, and if you're a good woman, and yeah, you conduct yourself that a way that a good woman conducts herself in a relationship. That's just that. It's not a matter of whether or not he's, he's properly riding a he's juggling in the top hat while riding a unicycle while singing Kumbaya. No, 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 no. It's like sometimes one argument refutes the other argument and they don't realize it. One argument refutes the other argument and they don't realize it. If it is the case that there are women who are, going to work, they paying bills, they coming home, the man there it ain't shit, but she's still coming home and cooking and cleaning and doing everything with the kids, helping the kids with their homework, taking them everywhere they need to go. And there were some women out there who are doing that for an abusive man who's treating them like crap, who's treating them like this, who's doing that, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, why is that woman doing all that then? Because she's a submissive woman. She's just submitting to the wrong man. If she all of a sudden got with the right man, chances are she'd be that same woman. Now, some women will get in a position where if they get too comfortable, they will change a little bit if they get too comfortable. But for the most part, that woman is demonstrating, that woman that they say really exists in high numbers is demonstrating that she is a submissive woman, regardless of who she with. And a submissive woman will submit to her man regardless of how fucked up he is. She will submit to him until she decides I can no longer go forward, and then she will leave. But she won't stay with him and just be an argumentative, combative, bitchy, disrespectful woman. That I don't believe. I don't believe that's how it works. I think a submissive woman, it don't matter if she's, like you see this kind of thing where a woman may have a job, she might be a nurse, and her dude may be a doolittle ass nigga who's, over 30 trying to start his rap career. They'll pay for the fucking studio. She'll use her money to put a studio in his basement so he can pursue his dreams. That's a woman just doing whatever she got to do, even though she don't even believe in the motherfucker. But she's just doing whatever she got to do. She's doing whatever she got to do. Now, if that same woman was with a good man who was working and paying bills, and let's just say that man needed her to also work. He made money, but her little 40K helped out, so that's what they needed. But then he got to the point where he made more money and he needed her to come home and be at home and take care of the house and take care of some kids. That submissive woman, she's just gonna do whatever is needed. She's gonna do whatever is needed. Like the first woman I talked about, she was doing whatever is needed. And if her man wasn't shit and it was needed for her to be working and then coming home and cooking and cleaning and doing all the extra shit and basically working 2 jobs, she was doing that because that's what needed to be done. If she was with a man who was doing right and he needed her to do something else that didn't require her to be working 2 jobs on her feet all day, she would do what needed to be done. That's more or less what a submissive woman does. But this whole thing where they pretend as if submissive women are shapeshifters who go from one thing to another thing depending on the man that's standing in front of them, as if they're just shapeshifters. It's not how it works. Not how it works. It can work like that short term and temporarily. It can. It could definitely work like that short term and temporarily. But whether or not they're children, I don't know. This is one of the things this is what prompted this discussion. I agree. Hold on, real quick. Concrete. I agree with that statement. Submission isn't for every man, but the subtle splash of bullshit that you're trying to smuggle under the table is that it's implying, what's embedded and implied there is that a woman being submissive is contingent upon what the man does or has accomplished. And my argument is that a woman gets with a man, probably a woman gets with a man, and if she's with that man and she happens to be a submissive woman, she will submit to him that during the time that she's with him, upon realizing that this is not a man worthy of submission to, being submitted to, she will leave. But you can't have the argument of the long suffering wife who does all the right things and this man is so horrible if you're arguing that submission is contingent upon how the man treats her or what the man does. That's what I mean by one argument defeats one argument from women defeats the other argument from women. It's like you're trying to hold two things in your hand that you can't hold at the same time. That's what I mean by that when I'm saying that they that a woman being feminine and submissive is not contingent upon the man. But I do agree that every man isn't deserving of it, but some men get it and they're not deserving of it because that man just happened to get with a submissive woman. There are some men who are deserving of it but don't get it because that man happened to get with a non-submissive woman. Submission is not contingent upon the man, or a woman's ability to submit isn't contingent upon the man. It's contingent upon whether or not she's feminine and submissive. What's her default? What's your default? The women of today are not as strong as their grandma. Thank you for the super chat. 3D Burns in the building with a super chat. Appreciate that. Kyle to Basis Third says, but every man deserves a strag. Yeah. In a roundabout, see, I wanted to talk about the topic of, because a lot of black men throw out that, or not black men in general throw out that women are children in these discussions. And I feel like it's, the reason I don't like to do that, because I like to hold adults accountable for all their actions. If you're calling them children, then they can't be held to a high standard, and I hold women to the high standard of making good decisions, and so I'm not going to go whole hog calling them children, because that implies that that takes them off the hook. That lets them have their feminism and eat it too. They're children, they can't be trusted to make decisions, but we've built a society where they're in position to make big decisions. So if you're calling them children, it's like, no. It's like they fought their way to the grown-ups table. They got to act like grown-ups. And that's just where it's at. If they can't act like grown-ups, they need to get the fuck off to go sit at the kids' table. But do they want to sit at the kids' table? That's the question. This was de facto I was supposed to be. I'm almost at the 1 hour mark, but I was supposed to be getting into the Angela Stanton thingy majiggy. That's what I was supposed to be getting into, even though I wasn't going to dig that deep into it. I just wanted to surface level that shit. Wanted to surface level that shit. Because we're talking about a strong conservative woman who principled wise said all the right things, argued the talking points every bit as good as a conservative man would have in those discussions. Even though I do tell people, Angela Stanton, when she went one-on-one with Roland Martin brought some heat to her because Roland Martin knows his shit. You can't just pull out quick hitting catchphrases. Donald Trump did this. Roland Martin, like, no. Actually, this is what happened. That was already in place. And then, so all he did is he just signed something that other people put the legwork into. And then, Roland Martin will break down his shit. Fair point, Judge Zilla. Fair point. But yeah, I do want people to go look at that one because she just beat the shit out of the Breakfast Club, but Roland Martin brought the heat back to her. But anyway, conservative woman, everybody believing in conservatism, it's conservative values and principles and this and that and blah blah blah. It's a thing. It's a thing that's there that So, you don't expect this, but we do expect this, Like she's 43. She's 43 and listen, if she just cheated on her husband or just, wanted to cheat on or was trying to cheat on her husband, that's one thing. But here you are on the campaign trail embarking on, you're embarking on something huge here. What she's doing. She's embarking on something huge. She got somebody, Tommy Sotomayor. As far as social media goes, a black conservative, Tommy Sotomayor, who his show isn't about politics, because like ABL, his show is specifically about politics. So if you get ABL in your camp about to essentially work for you, that's great. But I still think somebody like Tommy is going to reach more commoners. ABL is just going to connect you with the people who already toting the party line, who would support you regardless. Tommy will put you on the map to people who probably wasn't going to support you regardless. So for that business deal to fall apart because your married ass found out he was also trying to fuck your friend, that's some goofy shit. And it goes back to the situation where, women have fought, or as Judge Zilla says, bitched and complained, for a seat at the table. Which they got their seat at the table. And in a perfect world, I'm looking at this in terms of rights and liberties. Rights, liberties, yes, women should be free and should have the right to accomplish or go after whatever they want to go after, even if it's the presidency. That's, in the name of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, I agree with that. I'm not, team take women's rights. They should be able to go after that. But it's just the weirdness of the childish behavior, When men engage in shit, they take a hit. They take a hit. Women take a bigger hit. That's a double standard, and that's cool, The women, if y'all don't want double standards, go work in a coal mine while you got a man at home, watching Price is Right, painting his toenails. And, go do that. If and then we can talk about getting rid of double standard. So it is a double standard. This does look worse on her than what it typically looks on a man, because But at the same time, John Edwards' political career ended because it was found out that he had already lost, running for president. He was running when Hillary and Barack Obama was, had their showdown. In 2008, he was the third runner-up on the Democrat side of it. And shortly after he bowed out, it leaked out that, damn, this dude was cheating on his wife while she was, I believe dying of cancer. So, yeah, political career ended. He couldn't bounce back from that. There are some men who do bounce back from some cheating. But when women, we've never seen, at least to my knowledge, a woman in high political office or position or running for it get tangled up in some shit like that. And yeah. So the shit definitely looks bad on her. But here we are in modern times where text message gate, screenshot gate, all of that is going to leak out and all of that is going to happen. And she's going to look even more, that, and it's just the handling and the dealings of it. The throwing pussy at a man. Oh, don't worry about my husband. Trying to set up this and do that. And when they're supposed to be doing business that's going to help her career politically. But Tommy Sotomayor, being a hound dog, clearly was also trying to fuck her friend. And then she blew up about that. And I see that shit all the time. I worked with a chick who was, she was fucking with a married man. The woman wasn't married. The man was married. And so he was fucking his female coworker. And also, he had some other side chick somewhere. Well, this chick, she getting amped up. She trying to go meet up to go fight the other side chick. Like, you do realize this man goes home to a wife. But you trying to fight the other bitch on the side? It's like goofy shit. But this woman was in her 20s. He was like 25 or 26. But 43? And that lends to that argument that they're children. And Carlton Banks III said that Angela Stanton can't be a leader. Sorry. Yeah. But it's been an hour. I had more things I wanted to say, more things I wanted to get into, and hopefully we'll get into it. Opening things on up. Come on with it. All are welcome. Anybody can come up. Everybody won't necessarily be able to stay up. Put it like that. She didn't want to be in third place. Yeah. The chick I was telling you about, and I told the story before, she had no smoke for the wife. She actually saw the wife out and about somewhere. You know. It was a situation where it was like a gathering where she went to. The wife was there and the dude was there. And she just shut her mouth and stayed on the side. Ain't had nothing to say. Was being a good little side piece, but let some other side piece come in. Oh no. It was time to fight. It was time to fight. Sorry for the dead air. I'm taking a sip. 168 people watching, 119 likes, 15 dislikes. 15 dislikes. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all are bad people disliking my video. Jedi Mac in the building says, Bernard, the side chick was cutting into her money. That dude was tricking. Nope. They both worked the same job, both made the same amount of money. With no tricking going on. She just was enjoying. She worked with him. She liked him. She was attracted to him. She started fucking him. She liked fucking him, and that was that. With no tricking going on. But the link is in the chat. Come on. And it's weird, you know. They all up in the Senate. It's like we calling them children, but, you know. A woman was a few, you know, electoral votes away from running the damn country. So we're talking about them being full-blown in positions of ultimate power. But we're viewing them as children. But by doing that, it puts them in a perpetual cake and eat it situation where they can conduct themselves like children but be in positions of power. But I was just a woman. That's where that fucking Meg Thee Stallion shit came from, where she was all caught up, wrapped up, and responsible for that. Anybody coming up? Jessica, come on up, because you de facto, other than Tommy, you broke the story. You broke the story. And I think last I checked, your video had like 6,000 views on that. You was at Ground Zero reporting. And Tommy actually took notice. because I was watching his stream, and I saw where somebody was trying to tell him to go flag yours. That was interesting. Oh, my bad, my bad. No disrespect to Reg the bad guy. He be trying to break that news. He be trying to break the news. Oh, we wait for Jessica to come up. One thing that's funny about Reg the bad guy, when everybody clowned him about that kitchen, I just knew he was going to move. But man, he stood in it. I just thought he was just going to reposition himself in front of just a plain wall. I just knew he was going to do it, but man, he stood in it. He improved his camera setup. His camera got a little more clear and more crisp. His graphics got better. His everything around him got better. I think he got a better mic. He got better equipment. He invested in everything to make his show better. But that kitchen is here to stay, goddammit. Y'all is not about to shame me out of my kitchen. I salute and respect him for that. He said, fuck y'all, I'm standing in it. He said, fuck y'all, I'm standing in this shit. So I give Reg a definite salute and shout out for that one. But as far as I know, as far as I could tell, Jessica was the one who other than Tommy breaking the story, Jessica was the first one that covered it here and got a lot of traction on that story, on all the odds and ends of that story. How many views your video at right about now?
Oh, give me a second and let me check.
Yeah, you be going semi-viral.
Okay, so I'm at 7.4 now.
Yeah, that's less than 24 hours. That's pretty damn fast. What was your overall take on that? Because I ain't gonna even lie, I don't know the beginning. That's why I talked about it vaguely. I don't know the beginning, end, middle of all that shit. So I guess you can just give a setup, a breakdown of exactly what happened, play by play, what happened with them, and how did the whole fallout happen? Kind of report the news, so to speak.
Okay, so initially it started on. Sorry, I just thought I could hear a bit of an echo. Initially, it started when she did the Breakfast Club interview. And after that, I think Tommy invited her on his show. From there, they got to know each other a little bit. And behind the scenes, she was pursuing him. So she was making it clear that she wanted something more than a business relationship. She invited him to go with her to a cabin out in the mountains alone on the 4th of July weekend, and he basically knocked her back. That didn't hinder her. She still kept pursuing him.
You said he knocked her back?
Yeah, but he gave her sort of like a polite knockback because I think he still wanted to pursue a business relationship.
Is that a British term, knock back?
Okay, you guys don't say that?
No.
He basically rejected her, but a polite rejection. Yeah.
Understood what it meant, but no, we don't say knock back. Shot her down.
Yeah,
I don't know, but anyway.
You can say it that way.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So yeah, he knocked her back, but politely. And so from there, she was still pursuing him. But what the breaking point was is that she thought he wanted her friend, her manager / friend. And from there, she got in her feelings because sort of she knew he didn't want her. As Darth Slothius says, he curved her. He didn't want her. And so she sort of almost went on this harassing campaign on him. And he said to her, like, listen, leave me alone because I'm going to have to expose you if you don't stop. And she just kept going on and on and on. And then, boom, he exposed her.
Oh, wait a minute. See, that part I didn't know. I do remember him saying that he said, leave me alone. But you're saying some time went by where he was like, leave me alone. I'm through with you. I'm not, well, not, can't say through with you because he never really started with her. But he was basically saying our actual business entanglement and any other entanglement, all of that is done. And she kept coming forward, harassing him essentially.
Yeah, she was still just trying to just get at him. You know, she has sort of like a history of antagonizing people if things don't go her way. And so this was yet another case of that. An example was she was doing an interview. Maybe somebody in the chat could give the name of the channel because it skipped my mind. But she was arguing with a woman, and the woman just sort of, left it alone. And Angela just kept antagonizing her, just kept attacking her. And so we sort of saw a glimpse of her personality there as well. But the ultimate thing is, going back to the title, she is like a child. She didn't get her own way and she threw a tantrum,
Yeah.
just like a child would.
Damn. Yeah, that's what it seemed like happening. It seems like that's what happened, and that was more or less. I was already planning on talking about that because I saw a video from another YouTuber. It was some white dude. I didn't even know who he was, talking about whether or not women are children. And I was saying to myself, that's not. We shouldn't be doing that to some degree. We shouldn't be saying that they're children. Hold on, I'm hearing a slight, very subtle echo too. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's that over across the pond internet connection you got. I'm blaming you. But but yeah, but yeah, I was thinking like we shouldn't be doing that because if they're going to be in society, if they're going to be at the adults table, which many of them are, and some of them do well at it and everything, but when shit go wrong, they can fall back on, oh, I was just a damsel in distress woman, like we can't hold them accountable. That's the ultimate having their, their feminism and eating it too. So that's why I think that that rhetoric of women are children need to be dropped. They need to be talked to like adults, treated like adults, held to the same accountability and responsibility of adults. And that's where I'm at with it because so many of them, when it blow up in their face, you can see it with Meg the Stallion, so many other situations, you can see them getting to the point where it's their response to it is the response of like a child throwing a temper tantrum or somebody, seeking out extra extra attention or just wanting people to have some unwarranted sympathy of some sort. And that's what it come down to with a lot of them.
Well, yeah, you do. I think a lot of women play the sympathy card. I'm a poor woman. And society is set up that way, and the law is set up that way that women in general don't have to take accountability. Just like for the most part, children don't have to take accountability because we take that burden off them by saying they're a child, they don't know any better. And so, in a way, describing women as children, I think, is almost helping them.
You mean it's helping them,
It's helping
helping them
women.
get away with fuckery, basically?
Yeah, because again, you don't have to take accountability for your actions. If you're like a child and you don't know any better, then you don't have to take accountability. It's not your fault. You didn't have bad intentions. You just didn't know. And that's what that phrase suggests. When I feel like in reality, a lot of women do know better. They do know what they're doing is wrong. But we just know that we can get away with certain things as a woman. And so they continue to do it.
Oh my bad, I had some background noise. I was trying to look at the YouTube feed. I'm terrible at watching my comments, but I had to turn that on. But yeah, that's more or less what I was getting at. More or less what I was getting at with the whole setup thing. How we have ultimately built a society where it's easy for women to be in that position of not needing a man, not, they can be rogue individualist right now. They can do all of that right now because society has been set up more or less by men to where they can definitely do that. But it's a clear and easy obvious drawback that we can see. My man Ty City came through with a super chat. Go ahead and give women responsibility and authority. It's a free country. Yeah, yeah. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. They should be able to pursue it. They should be free to pursue it. But but there's drawbacks. There's drawbacks.
Drawbacks of what? Accountability?
There's drawbacks of when if you given like you said, give women responsibility and authority, it's a free country. There's drawbacks in how they conduct themselves because okay, they got the responsibility, they in positions of power, they're moving up through corporate America, but if a lot of them are still doing childish shit like what we just saw here, then it ends up in a situation where you could very well have a governor, a senator, a president engaging in some of the most childish fuckery. That's what I mean by
Do you
the
know?
drawbacks of
Do you
doing
know
that.
why I feel like that happens though? Because the accountability isn't there. So right now they do have the responsibility and the authority, but their accountability is what's missing. And so anyone who has power and responsibility without having to be accountable for their actions, what do? They go power crazy. They start acting anyhow. And that's what that situation showed. She was the one in the wrong. She was the one that was trying to cheat on her husband. But
Yeah,
because people aren't willing to put that accountability on her, she has the responsibility and the authority, but no accountability. Because of that, she has the chance to turn around and say, like, look, it's all your fault. That's what she tried to do. She tried to blame it on him. And because, again, the lack of accountability for women's actions, it was almost like she tried to Me Too him. And that's what we saw with the Me Too movement before. It was women who knew very well what they were doing. They were having, okay, this might be controversial, right? But a lot
go
of these
ahead.
women were having sex with these successful guys in the hopes that they could further their career. And when they saw an opportunity to flip it around and play victim, they did that. And so they didn't have to take accountability. Like, take Harvey Weinstein, for example, right? I did a video on this and it came out that a few of the women that were saying, oh, he acted inappropriately with me, they'd already slept with him before and they continued to sleep with him afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to focus on that. They don't have to take responsibility for that. Why? Because I'm just a poor woman and I didn't know what I was doing. He
Right.
manipulated me, he took advantage.
Yep. Carlton Banks the third. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Ty City says, "Not in my country." And he says, "What is? Well, no. What is that? Phallic X? I don't know how we pronouncing that. But he says, "What is Angela's version?" I don't even know what you mean by that. But Ty City got a good question on the table. Or a good point on the table. He says Tommy went public first. What are your, thoughts on that? Because that do got to get averaged into the equation. It may not have leaked out had Tommy not, went public with it.
And Tommy did the right thing. Because look back at history, what's been happening for the past, I don't know, almost 10 years now. These women are getting out there with their story first. And everyone knows that there's power in who gets their voice out there first. There's power in that. And so the last thing he needs is for her to go out there and play victim and then he has to defend himself. It's a losing battle. We've seen it time and time again. And so what he did is he went out there first with the receipts, with the proof, and exposed her like he should have done.
All
It's
right.
not like he didn't warn her.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He told her like plenty of times, like, listen, just leave it alone now. Leave it alone. And she pursued him in that antagonization just as much as she pursued him in trying to get sex out of him.
Yeah,
She was the one making all the moves.
and another thing, like Tommy Sotomayor is a goddamn shock jock that he's not. It's nothing on air he's not above talking about. So, so that's why she was already on some stupid shit right there. Because Tommy will talk about the shit on the air. But what do you think about the simple fact that I got to shout out Ty City on this one because Ty City pointed this out when Tommy Sotomayor was saying, you know, yeah, I flirt, but then I back out because I wasn't trying to do it. I didn't want to do it. It's like he was trying to make it seem like he was playing, hokey pokey with the situation. Like he was, what do you think about that angle of it? That he, led the shit on in that perspective.
Okay, this is the thing, right? He did acknowledge that he flirted with her, And as a woman, right, what you realize is that there are a lot of guys out there who are flirty just by nature. It doesn't mean that they actually have any intention of following through. And when you try multiple times to pursue him and he keeps giving you those signs that say, like, listen, I'm not interested. As a 50-year-old woman, you should take heed of that. You're not a 16-year-old girl who maybe doesn't have enough experience to know that, okay, he's trying to knock me back. She knows that he didn't
Knock her
want
back.
it. Oh, sorry, I said it again.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Knock her back. That's funny. Anyway, but yeah, that was one thing because as men from our perspective, that's the shit that women do. They do gaslight. They lead you on. You're trying to set something up, and then they're going with it. They're flirting back, and then they back out at the last minute. And then when y'all talk again, they're down. They're compliant. They like, okay, that's cool. They flirting. They send a picture. They do this, and then when it comes time to put up or shut up, they back out again. That's where I was like, Tommy, what is you doing? I mean, that's just a man thing. Like, why are you playing the female's game? I didn't understand, because that's a game that women play on dudes, and I didn't understand that part. That was really the only thing he was doing in the situation that was kind of annoying the hell out of me. That you shouldn't go there. You shouldn't do that. But
Yeah, because this is the thing. If you flirt, it can give people the wrong impression, as you say. It definitely can. But then let's not act like she wasn't familiar with him. She was on his show before. She was obviously knew of him. And even if you go on his show and women go on there, what does he do with all of the women?
oh
He
yeah, he flirt.
flirts. He flirts. And so it's something that he does with everyone. So you should be able to distinguish between that just being somebody's nature and them pursuing you specifically. And there was no attempt from him to pursue her specifically. Even I can garner that about him, that he flirts with everyone. That's just his nature. And if it was just her that he'd flirted with in that way, I'd be like, okay, much bigger point. But he does it with everybody, like every woman.
Right on, right on. You having too many giggles in the chat, Ty City. Cut it out. Too many giggles playing mountain trips. Yeah, they was trying to go up into the mountains with some shit. Now, understand in a very, soft way, nothing etched in stone, it was alluded to of, you going on his show or him going on your show, or any developments with that?
Possibly, we'll see.
Okay, that was one of those female non-answers. Not just playing. Oh, possibly we'll see. No, when I was asking, have y'all talked since? Have y'all talked since? Are y'all trying to get it set up or no?
No.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Let me ask the question clear before I accuse you of doing the female dodge. But
No, not so far.
okay, cool. That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what the future holds in that regard.
Yes, thank you, Naima Buckner. Knock you back sounds like trying to get sex, Jess. It sounds like fucking. That's what I. When she said he knocked her back, I'm like, whoa. They have sex already? That's
Knock your back out. No.
Yeah. That's where I was at with it. That's exactly where I was at with it. Have you been saying that on the air, and has anybody questioned you on knock her on that statement? Or that's your first time saying it?
No one's ever pulled me up on it. If I have said it before, this is the first time.
No one's ever pulled you up on it. That's okay. All right, I'm not gonna make fun of how you talk.
I'm used to it. When I say vitamins, when I say the letter H, tomato,
H?
whatever it. Yeah.
H?
The letter H.
Is that like H?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It sounds like y'all are actually saying it the right way, because it sounds like it should be a in front of it, but when we say H, yeah, I mean, Hold
That's what I'm
on.
saying. You
We're
guys
saying it
pronounce it
wrong.
wrong. You guys say it wrong.
Why are we saying H? Do we really say it like that?
Yeah, you guys say H.
What the fuck? I didn't even realize that. God damn, yeah, we've been saying it wrong. You know what? A lot of stuff that we make fun of people on that other side of the planet over there, a lot of stuff that y'all say, y'all are actually saying it right and we're saying it wrong. Like, for example, it was a guy, I forgot where he was from, but it's like it took him too long to say water. He would be like water, water. I'm like, dude, why are you saying it like that? And then I realized, wait a minute, he's pronouncing it the way it actually is, water. But for us, it's water. So we say stuff wrong, and we make fun of y'all for saying it right. That much is true. That word that shouldn't be H.
The
It's,
irony.
it's almost like we're saying it with a ACH, like with a ACH and a silent E, H. That's what it sounds like we're saying. Like it's no. So we
Yeah, well, when you think of any word that begins with H, it's her.
yeah
So
yeah
that's where you pronounce the word H.
yeah no it make perfect sense. It make perfect sense. We getting it wrong on that. We definitely getting it wrong on that. Nobody else wants to come up apparently. What time is it over there in
It is 10 to 4
10 to 4? So that's PM, I presume.
p.m. Yeah, we're
Okay, so
ahead of you.
it's nighttime over there. Okay, I see. I see. I see. I see. I see.
It's a slow one today. People have
Well, no,
opinions on it in the chat, but they don't necessarily want to come up.
no. It's another channel that's normally not going right now. That's going right now. So I know where everybody at. So it happens. Hovering around 200 and nobody coming up. That happens. That happens. Pending how many other people are on at the same time. But yeah, no, it is a slow one today. I do appreciate you coming up because I'll shut this bad boy right on down. I will shut this bad boy right on down. Well, it don't look like BGS is on no more. BGS was on and he had like 300 people on when I was on, so I was like, this might be a slow day. And me and Ramil are normally on at the same time. But is what it is what it is. The numbers are going to fluctuate, and that's just the reality of the situation. And right on cue, we about to actually make a show of this thing apparently, because we got two people that I definitely love to hear their commentary. First off, Mumia Obsidian Ali and Judge Zilla the Beast. I think we about to actually make a show out of this thing. What's going on, old man?
Hey,
What's happening?
going on, brother? All right. What's going on, Jesse?
Hey.
I hope you don't mind.
Jesse.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I knew exactly what Jesse meant when she said knock you back it's a British expression. Just like if someone says, for example, this Angela Staten King, she fancied Thomas. In Britain, they would say that's a British way of saying, you like somebody or you're sexually attracted to them if they say you fancy somebody.
Yeah, that one I was familiar with. If he fancies her. Yeah.
Bernard.
Yes.
How old are you, man?
38.
Mark it down.
I got my pen. I got my pen in my hand right now. I'm
38
writing.
in how many days? What, 38 in 5 days?
June 28th was my birthday, so 30 days or so.
All right, 38. Oh man. So you just put it together that I don't know, perhaps the English might speak English better than Americans.
Man, you know what? In America, we feel like we own shit that we don't own. Put it like that. And it blows me away when I'm faced with the reality that our shit came from somewhere else. Because we have an arrogance about in our culture where like we just the king of the world and this our shit and But yeah, but no, our shit came from somewhere else and we bastardized it. So yeah, no. Good, fair point. You got me.
I always look at Americans who argue with English people on pronunciation or grammar usage or anything. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. No, you're right. You got me. This is not the first time that has happened to me in my life. I told you about the guy who was saying water, and we were like, dude, what are you doing? That's not how you say water.
I wonder if Mexicans do the same thing with Spaniards, but you know.
but yeah, no,
they do. They do.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, Spanish is a very. I mean, to our ear, we wouldn't hear it. I'm getting some feedback somewhere. But anyway.
Yeah, I think that's Jessica.
Yeah. But
do you want me to? Sorry, do you want me to go out and come back in?
You could try,
okay.
but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a difference in Spanish inflections and dialects and stuff like that. So,
sure.
Yeah, people in different throughout the Latin world, they can tell where people are from by how they speak. In Mexico,
in Spain, it's called Catalano.
Catalano, yeah. And Spain, Mexico, they have a kind of contentious relationship with conquistadors and all that sort of thing. So yeah, the more southernmost, ethnic, I guess you could say, Mexicans, mestizos or whatever. There is that because they have their own indigenous languages and stuff too. So.
Well, again, I would figure the same thing. I wonder if the same thing goes. I say with Mexico and Spain, Brazil and Portuguese, Montreal and France, but whatever.
Yeah, they do that. I'm no expert about Spanish, but I do know that they do have a difference. My understanding is that that's true with even Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States, and Dominican Republic as well. They kind of have that distinction as well. That's my understanding of it. So
actually, here's the thing: for Spanish speakers, I've heard most often for Spanish teachers, right, is that they say that the most beautiful version of it is actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Bolivian.
Wow,
which is weird. Yeah,
interesting.
But people think different ways. People say it different ways, right? So you look at the Aussie English accent, right? You look at the Kiwi English accent, which is New Zealanders, right? Right, Canadian English accent, American English accent, UK English accent. We'll say Britain's English accent, Scottish English accent, Irish English accent, right? Yeah. And then you have the complete derivation, India's English accent.
Let me ask
India
accent, because the most famous person here with a very distinctive accent is Miss Jessica X. Jesse, let me ask you a question. Are you from the East End of London or whereabouts?
Yeah, the East.
Not Cockney.
Yeah, like the Cockney area. Yeah.
Interesting. I've been told that I have a very distinctive Philly accent. Obviously I can't tell because I've been here all my life, but I've been told that just like I can pick up a New Yorker instantly, especially the closer they are to Brooklyn, I can pick it up instantly. So I've been told that when I speak, people can instantly pick up that I'm from Philly. So
yeah, but you sound like I'm not trying to clown you when I say this. You don't sound like an urban street Philly. You sound like a white mechanic Philly. but with black overtones. Does that make sense?
Yeah, actually it does. I was born in North Philly, but I was raised in a suburb called Germantown, and that's where I went to high school. Germantown, class of '87. Go Bears! And so yeah, I was raised in a suburban part of Philadelphia. So yeah,
because you don't sound like that's not Project Pat. What was his name? Beanie Siegel, right? You don't sound like Beanie Siegel.
No, Beanie Siegel was from South Philly. He's from Black South Philly. You got Black South Philly, which is west of Broad Street, and then you got essentially Italian and Irish South Philly, which is east of Broad Street. So yeah, he's from the South. Him, the Roots, Amber Rose, all of those folks are from Black South Philly, and that's pretty ghetto down there.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead,
just
Jeff.
want to say, hey, Jessica, congratulations. We have had a contentious history, you and I, but I cannot not give you respect by landing a very big interview with regards to the Manosphere. So,
Oh,
congratulations.
thank you, Judge. Thank you.
So, Jesse, let me ask you a question. So, I just want to make sure I got this straight because a number of my guys have been clamoring for me to weigh in on this latest Tommy Sotomayor kerfuffle. It seems like controversy just follows him no matter where he goes. Make sure I understand this right. Tommy and this woman, Angela Staten King, it all got started where it started off innocently enough as a business arrangement. And then she wanted to upgrade that into a little rumpy bumpy action. He knocked her back, as you would say. She felt some kind of way about that, and we're off to the races. Do I have that right?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, that's the story.
That was pretty much how I understood it. Because, I mean, we all remember when they did their one-on-one. After she went on the Breakfast Club, she went on Tommy Sotomayor's show, and they had just a good interview where you wouldn't have thought anything was going on. But no, they just had a regular, normal, good interview between two black conservatives. And yeah, that was that. But apparently, yeah, that was what I came to understand, that there were, back chatting going on between the two of them, where they were supposed to be doing some more business, but yeah, the rumpy bumpy, as Obsidian called it, and the knocking back of her, as Jessica called it, took place, or the attempted rumpy bumpy, I should say, was potentially going on, and then that's when it came to an end. Keith Lamont, I saw you popped on up. I was about to pass the mic to you, so feel free to come on back. I am curious to see what you got to say about this. You're normally pretty perceptive and intuitive and make predictions on things. I did want to hear you go on a little rant about this, Keith. So if you got time, you come on back. But
it's interesting. Tom, I don't know him personally.
Right.
We had a brief working relationship. It seems like everything with Tommy is brief. But in any event, from my observation of him over the years, I could pretty much say with confidence that Miss Angela Staten King wouldn't be his type.
Yeah, I wasn't even about to get into that, but yeah, I mean, Tommy messed with some young hotties,
Yeah, he likes them young. He likes them really young.
That's what I was speaking of. Oh, go ahead, Judge.
No, please, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, after the Breakfast Club interview, it's like her ego has shot through the roof. And I said, if you watch the optics of it from the outside, she's got these new weaves all the time. You can tell that she's really feeling herself right now. And she felt like she honestly would be able to get him if she wanted him. And I think her ego was dealt like a really huge blow by him knocking her back. And she got spiteful, as many women do.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. She's got her head's been blown up, like to the nth degree, no pun intended, but to the nth degree, and she believes that she's on. So how dare anybody? Wait, if men are allowed to do it, then women are surely allowed to do it. If men running for Congress are able to do it, then women surely should be able to do it. And I should be able to do it because I'm getting all this attention and good press and good push, and my numbers are swelling. How dare he?
Right.
Well,
and
that goes to women being a part of man world. They think they reap the benefits of man status when it comes, like a man who just had that status come up. Yeah, he can pull more women, more higher caliber women. But you being a woman, that don't mean that you came up in status and notoriety, but your SMV, as they call it, didn't increase. You're still 40-year-old chick with a 43-year-old chick with a voice that sounds like you've been smoking cigarettes since you were 5. So I mean, yeah.
How dare this lonely internet shock jock spurn my advances?
Yeah,
exactly. And the worst thing about it all is that she's married. And Tommy brought that up to her. He's like, "Hang on, aren't you married?" And she said, "Oh, my husband's a real man. He doesn't ask questions. He stays out of my business."
Yeah, that's
And
what I
so
wanted to get
that
into. I
said a
forgot
lot.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we gotta.
She lives a lifestyle counter to what she promotes. Yes.
Exactly.
We gotta examine that. That statement is a really profound statement packed with a lot of fuckery. Say that again, Jessica X. What did she say? Her husband is a real. Let's say it. Just say it
She
again.
said, "My husband is a real man. He doesn't ask about what I do, and he minds his own business."
Oh, sound like a real man eater there. Well, it's interesting. Now I know our usual segment is several days off, and I might have something else to do after that later on in that evening. But I would like to kind of just as Uncle David Carroll would say, tickle the corners of the plate here by saying that the argument goes against coming from our erstwhile interlocutors, our the loyal opposition. Jesse will appreciate that term. The loyal opposition. It goes something like this. The guys, these guys in the black manosphere, these losers, these red pillars, they can't take no from an answer from a woman. They can't take rejection. And of course, yet again, we see on the big jumbotron of life that argument going down in flames, because here we see yet another black American woman not being able to take no for an answer.
If these women were honest, oh, sorry.
Let me see. Obsidian, I think you have the feedback.
Huh. Well, let's try to make a habit of muting until you start talking. Let's all kind of do that just to see if we can help it in that regard. But I don't know who's the causer, who's causing it, because it was a little bit when it was just me and Jessica, and then it seemed like it amped up a little bit when Obsidian came on. So I don't know who's at fault. But anyway, who was somebody was talking.
No, I was just going to say, if these women are honest, there is nobody that handles rejection worse than women. Women cannot handle rejection. It's not in our nature to be able to handle rejection. And so when they sit there and talk about, oh, you guys just can't handle rejection, it's what's the word? It's like projecting. They're projecting.
Yeah, no, that's all day. If women had to deal, women would be on suicide watch if they had to deal with the type of rejection that men deal with. Like, what I'm about to describe is just a normal, regular occurrence. Okay, a guy gets dressed. He leaves the barbershop, got a fresh haircut, got on a nice fresh outfit, looking good, smelling good. Step out on the town. He goes and approaches a woman. While he's he goes out to the club. While he's approaching that woman, he's talking to her, and she's like looking around the room trying to find her friend to come save her. And then the friend just shows up out of nowhere, just grabs her, pulls her away. They go in the bathroom and they got to go in there and powder their nose, fix their makeup, reposition themselves because to figure out why this ugly motherfucker is trying to approach us. They do shit like that. Like, that's a normal, regular occurrence. Women will.
You forgot to look back and smile and giggle.
yeah, that too. Sometimes they will pretend to be gay to get rid of the guy. Could you imagine if a woman just worked up her courage to go approach a guy, and then he started looking around the room kind of nervously or kind of weird, and then made eye contact with one of his friends, and his friend came over there, and they literally pretended to be gay on each other to try to get rid of her. She'd be in that bathroom crying her eyes out. Like, I mean, they'd be on suicide watch.
Do you know how many women's fake boyfriend I was at the bar?
Yeah. No, I know how that go.
Women find all sorts of excuses. That happens too, Judge. Like, okay, pretend to be my boyfriend, so that he just leaves me alone. Yeah.
Or they just tell you, look, if they're cool with you, you've been around, say it's a place that you go through regularly, they'll just go, look, you're my boyfriend for tonight, right? Or they'll say this, you don't have to come over and say anything, but I'm going to point at you and tell them that you're my boyfriend. You know, and again, reference this, I'm 6'4", 285 pounds, and I don't look soft.
Right. So yeah. You was a perfect fake boyfriend. Yeah. You. There you go, Keith. They're gonna link. But yeah, no, women. Yeah, if they had to deal with the type of rejection that men deal with, because that shit that I just described, like that's normal. Even on a good night. On a good night, you might go through that what I just described. Maybe I don't know 5 or so times, maybe 10 times before you actually get a chick that's on board, and then it may go from a bad night to a good night real fast. I mean, we've all had that happen, but rejection for a guy, that's just normal. That's we bulletproof to that shit. Just, bring it on. Let's get the rejections out the way so I can find the one who's down. Like that's so. But women, that's it's devastating and heartbreaking to them. But we got Keith Lamont in the building. Before we go to Keith, we're gonna go to Prophet of Thought. Who tomorrow? We do got a show scheduled. The brother Xavier will be on this show tomorrow. I like the topic that you sent me, and that's what we'll go with. I might add a little bit to it, but without further ado, the brother Xavier from the Prophet of Thought series is in the building. What's going on?
Peace, brother Bernard, brother Obsidian, brother Keith, lady Jessica. What's up, brother Judge?
It's good, bro, man.
Hey, X.
What we saw with this Tommy Sotomayor thing is what we always see, man. Think about it. She came over to Tommy Sotomayor's house for this interview, her and her assistant, and they walked in there and they seen this brother with this big old house and his nice old cars, and their pussies got wet, right? The pussies got wet. So she had the interview. She sat there. She shot the shit with brother Sotomayor, and we all see him. We know how he is when it comes to females. He probably was flirting with her a little bit. Her pussy got wet again. And she thought to herself, damn, this nigga got money. This nigga got cars. This nigga got resources. So let me go ahead and try to get at him. Now, mind you, she's a 43-year-old, has hit the wall and slowly sliding down it to the floor aged woman. Now, once they get to that age, now they start looking at the 6-figure niggas. They're looking at the 6-figure niggas. Now, she walked into that house, which is probably bigger and nicer than hers. She saw those cars outside that were bigger and nicer than hers. So guess what, man? It kicked in. That done hit the wall. Female instinct kicked in. And she's like, hey, maybe I can go over here, maybe suck his dick a time or two up in the mountains, and he might help me further my campaign. He might rent me a bus. He might do anything because he's got money. I'm telling you, her eyes got big off of that money. And see, Tommy got out in front of it. He got out in front of it because, see, women want to have the first right of refusal. They like having the first right of refusal. So when he knocked her back, as Lady Jessica said, that fucked her up. Because no woman wants to say to herself, oh, this motherfucker don't want me, even though I want him. Women don't want to say that shit. So when he kicked her to the curb and said, hey, look, let's keep this professional, that fucked with her ego, especially if he was trying to holler at the friend or the assistant, who her pussy probably got wet too, because she's probably another done hit the wall and slowly sliding down and chick herself. So now you got this whole thing where she's mad at her brother for wanting somebody else, even though she's a married mama of 5 running for Congress, because something inside these old hoes just will not let them keep it professional, because that's all she had to do. All she had to do is keep it professional. That's it. That's all she had to do. And it would have went off fine. Fuck what Tommy was doing. She's the motherfucker running for Congress, not him. She's the person married, not him. She's married, not him. She's running for office, not him. So regardless of what Tommy was doing, she should have kept it professional. But she couldn't.
Counselor Murray came through with a super chat. He says, I'm not really feeling the X Factor, but she's pushing good content. Wait a minute. Is that you? You the X Factor?
I suppose so.
Oh, damn. That's interesting. Okay. I don't know if you just came up with that nickname or that's been a nickname. That's interesting.
First time I've heard it.
Okay, so I'm not really feeling the X Factors, but she's pushing good content. Tommy should have took the L for the conservatives. What? Tommy should have took the L for the conservatives. Why should I don't know. Black conservatives taking the L altogether with that whole situation. But either, I mean, it's a small L. It's an L, but a lot of people was really believing in her. Like she was truth. She was the second coming. She was that deal. You know, she was towing the party line as far as black conservatives, and yeah, she turned out to be I don't know if to say typical, but anyway, Keith Lamont in the building. What's going on?
What's going on, bro?
What's happening? What you got on the subject or whatever you want to fire away on?
I mean, honestly, man, you know, I'm just kind of, I don't know what's going on with the subject, but I'm just picking up all the context.
Yeah, we was talking. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually jumped on to apologize to old man, actually, man.
Okay.
So,
Wow, really? Well, what happened?
man, I was kind of a dick to you the last. You know what? I think I was getting a little frustrated at you, thinking you were being a dick, man. To be honest with you, bro.
Well, all
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, you got nothing to apologize there. Just like apologizing for existing. All of us are dicks.
Nah, nigga, I'm a grown ass man, bro. I came at you, you know, sideways, brother. You know what I mean? So, you know, I can be a man about my shit, brother. I came at you a little sideways.
No, that ain't nothing, man. That's
Yeah.
cool. Thank you for doing it, but it's all right, man. Ain't nothing. I mean, we're all jerks. By the way, Jesse knows this. Women love jerks. Isn't that right?
I mean,
Jesse?
hey, you know me, man. I own that shit, but you know, I don't like to be a bully.
Oh, I didn't feel like you was bullying me or nothing.
Right. I felt that was preemptive, if you will. I was too preemptive.
Yeah, I did feel a bit of frustration, but it's cool, man. Don't worry about it. Like I said,
Right.
you know, we're all jerks here. No big deal.
My man.
The black man is just one big jerk.
Hey man, you know, I'm good at it, but you know, I'm allegedly I'm not perfect. So, when I come at you wrong, because if somebody come at me wrong, I'm gonna hold serious.
Wait, hold it. You're not perfect? Really?
I said allegedly.
I know. I'm getting at a joke here. So yeah,
Lamont, please speak for yourself.
You know, it's interesting that Tommy. This is gonna sound messed up, but I'm gonna say this. It's interesting that Tommy is the voice of reason in this, because usually when his name and a insert name of woman follows it, it's usually him looking like the person that's kind of unhinged. So it is an interesting role reversal this time around.
And that's why it's good that he put the proof out there, because I saw Ty City say in the chat he was asking her about her husband and then planned a trip to the mountains with her. And that's not what happened. She basically came on to him and he said, like, hang on a second, aren't you married? And then she basically said to him, I'm married, but I get to do whatever I want. And then she was the one who planned the trip to the mountains and he didn't respond. She asked him to come and pick her up, this, that, the other. And he said, first of all, he ignored her for about a day. And then he said, oh, sorry, I can't make it. I have to look after my daughter or something like that. And that's all documented in the receipts. So
and that does sound very unlike Tommy. We all know how Tommy is. He's a jerk. I mean, come on. Him being so dodgy and all the rest of it in his responses, that really does that. Who knew, right? There's another side.
Well,
who knew?
I think what he was trying to do was he was trying to establish some sort of partnership because she's in politics. It's an area he wants to pursue. And so he thought, okay, we could have a good cordial relationship and we can help each other out.
You know what this sounds like to me? What this sounds like to me is just classic finesse culture, man. A person goes into a situation, all right, like my man said, you see the cars, you see the house, and in your mind, you figuring out, how can I finesse this situation, right? So I'm going to come in with I just want to know, I just want to partner. And, motherfucker got you before you got them. And that's what you mad about. Just like a lot of these relationships, man. The only thing is you went into it trying to finesse a person. They got you. That's why you mad. That's just as simple. This is what it's
so let me get this straight. I think this is very important. What you're saying is that this Tommy Sotomayor, Angela Staten King situation is really a window onto more pedestrian Black American male and female relations, where the Black women are attempting to finesse the guy, but the guy ends up finessing the back arm. It's kind of like a dating and mating Black American Brazilian jiu-jitsu move.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you go in for the punch, and then he hit you with the John Wick.
He doubled back on her. Yeah.
We've all seen the movie where the hero, the villain has beaten the hero down, and it's got the gun in his face, and it's over, and you cut the commercial. But then when you come back from the commercial, the hero has found a way to reverse the weapon, and now the villain, oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, you're not sorry. You was gonna blow my head off. You only upset because now the rabbit got the gun, man. So.
Well, Bernard, if you'll allow me, I'll read SKC's question, and because I think it has a tie in here. All right, I'll take that as yes.
Yeah, go ahead. I was on mute, but go ahead. Definitely.
With the Angela Stanton debacle in the ether now, question: can Straggs ever be reformed? Again, let's lay this out. This is a woman with, I believe, 4 children. Am I correct?
4 or 5. It changes.
4 or 5 children, right? 4 or 5 children, 43 years old, right? She is a ex-con, right? Who received a commuted sentence for fraudulent schemes, if I recall, right? And then she got out and she tried to capitalize Diamond and Silkwise, right? So she's successfully finessed a lot in her lifetime, right? To Science point, she's successfully finessed a lot in her lifetime. Consider all those cons, right? She's already in prison for fraudulent schemes, passing bad checks. If I understand, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, something to do with like a car theft ring that she was involved in, conspiracy.
Passing bad.
She went to prison for conspiracy. Yeah, she went for conspiracy.
Yeah, passing bad papers. So either titles or cashier's checks or something of that nature, right? So she was able to finesse that situation, right, into finessing a sentence commutation or pardon, then writing a book, right, to finesse yourself into the RNC, right, to be utilized Diamond and Silk style, then, right, gaining her position from the interview from for running, right, then gaining her position, gaining even more clout from the ridiculous interview, right, because she was just up against the mental midgets as far as politics go,
right,
and then right, seeing her opportunity with Tommy Sotomayor, right, and again, wait a minute, I've been successful in doing all of this, and I can't be successful in getting this, yes, he has some money and status, but look, we still know what people think about YouTubers. It doesn't matter how successful they are. They look down. News broadcasters, right? Anchors look down on PewDiePie. They still look down on PewDiePie, even though he can buy and sell them.
Yeah, well, I think she overplayed her hand, man. I think she overplayed her hand because, number one, the bitch wasn't young enough and the bitch wasn't fine enough. If she was finer, she was a little finer and a little younger, she might have could have pulled part of it off. But see, this is what we talk about all the time. I mean, Tommy's a Negro with some money. So when you're a brother with some money, you can turn hoes like her down all day long.
Now,
you ain't got to settle for her. You ain't got to settle for her.
Well, wait a minute, brother. Hold on a second, brother Xavier. Weren't we told by the loyal opposition that looks is king when it comes to black women? Wasn't we told that brothers who have money and are successful and famous and powerful, that they were just licked, waiting to be licked by these women? Weren't they just useful dupes? Weren't they just suckers out there waiting to be licked? Wasn't that what we were doing?
I mean, I'll push back on that a little bit, man. I don't think that's necessarily the truth, but I do think that's the way a lot of sisters see them. You know what I mean? Like, they don't see the good brothers. I mean, just observation, man, as something to build with, right? that brother is just something that I can get $5 out this nigga.
Yep. Yeah,
Well,
and he gave her like 6 or 7 grand already. He gave her like 6 or 7 grand, I think it was.
Yeah.
He just gave it to her that day that he made it.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am not going to be the one to sit here and believe Tommy Sotomayor was the only one she tried this with.
Of course not, man.
Of course not.
No. This shit is professional, man. You don't get to be that old. That think about these people's lives, man. I mean, other than you being on a radio show or being on TV, does that person's life strike you as not being chaotic as fuck? Come on, man.
Because look, the reason why I say that is how she responded, right? Well, my husband's a real man. He doesn't get in my business.
She just made him sound like a complete cock.
Right. So
Yeah.
this can't be the first time. As aggressively as she pursued, it doesn't fit with the profile that this is the first time.
Oh,
I mean,
the
she basically just told you she don't have any respect for men. I mean, this is the reason why the Middle Easterns, man. They're like, you know what? As soon as we take a sheet off, it leads to skinny jeans and this shit. You just cannot go in other cultures, man, and just get on there and say some shit like that about your husband. That is treason to your household. You basically bitched your husband in front of the world, bro. Like you only in America, man. I swear.
Yeah.
So are you saying that in other cultures that such an infraction would be
in other cultures, they will tie you to a branch and beat the hell out of you with a cane until you act right.
But silent. You're missing the point.
50 lashes.
Her platform is we need our black men. We need our black kings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, but how do we need them? How do we need them?
Exact. And this is why, no offense to anybody here, this is why on another channel, we'll say that, he doesn't have any animosity to this channel, but I don't know how Bernard feels about it.
Go ahead. It's cool.
On Zero's channel.
Oh, no, Zero, cool. Yeah, we do it.
Exactly.
Do a
exactly.
reoccurring
But I didn't want to, you know what I mean? He's not here, so I couldn't just throw it over to him. We had to just what is she really saying? What is she not as what is she saying? What is she really doing? This is a woman. This is a woman with 4 kids. She's not going to do anything about resolving child support. She's not going to do anything about resolving child custody. She's not going to do anything. She's talking big, but when she gets in that position, she's not going to do anything about any of that.
But she's not even talking big to somebody intelligent listening. What has she said that sounds like that would be beneficial?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is for everybody to rally behind her the way that they did because of her rhetoric. Like, wait a minute, but what she's actually going to do is not, because none of that benefits her at all. Actually, it works in the opposite. It benefits. It takes away from her benefits. And
that is why she is there. That's why she's put up front. You don't think there's a coincidence that when the government or the man at large, when we're saying, okay, let's get black people involved in the process, they're all women. Because they know damn well when you put the men in charge, shit actually gets fixed. That's just the way to pretend like you're doing something without really doing it. Just put the bitches in charge. And then that way we can pretend to say we're doing something, but we know they ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah, and as Tyson says, it's not the fact that she has those kids, right? Regular women aren't going to take away give away any of their power either. But the fact that she has those kids is a different motivator than her not having those kids. Either way, a woman in that position is not going to relinquish again, because to the initial title of the topic, right? Women are not children, but again, when Bernard said earlier, fought for, and I responded, fought for or bitched and complained?
Bitched and complained. Because really, when you fought for something, you still blood.
Did they have to register for the draft? No.
Right. So in light of what you guys just said about this situation, I want to kind of come at it at another angle, still keeping this in mind. Did anybody hear St. Kevin's show last night?
Half of it.
All right. Half of it. There was a part in the show. You might want to play this on the air, Bernie. There was a part in the show where Kevin is having a dialogue with a caller, and she is complaining to him how he talks to the ladies.
Mhm.
So Kevin says, all right, well, I'll tell you what. How about this? You tell me who is a better example of a black man talking to a black woman. You give me a name. So they kind of went back and forth because she dithered on it. But eventually she said, Dr. Umar Johnson.
Oh, nice. Let Shocker. He's the pro.
She hit the flow. Next thing you know, should have got low.
I think I know why she likes Umar. Go ahead and finish, brother. I think I can predict this.
And it was funny, like I said, that Bernie should play it because it's crazy. So
you got roughly the time.
It was toward the end, like the last 30 minutes of the show.
Right.
And he says, okay, so you're telling me that somebody who's never done anything is better for black women than somebody who has done something.
Yes. They like that, like the chat, that mouthpiece. It's not there's an old saying. It's not when you're playing a game, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how good you look playing the game. You know what I'm saying? These people don't care. Well, as long as I'm not responsible, I will let the community burn. I just want people to make me feel good. Okay. You niggas are making me do shit I don't want to do. I don't want to change. Why do I want to give this $1 million back? I'm eating good. I'm living for free. You asking me to do work. This nigga over here gonna tell me I'm a queen and I'm a god and it's all these niggas' fault. I mean,
Jada summed it up perfectly. She said, I just want to feel good.
Listen.
Hold on, real quick. Sir Tice, thank you for the super chat. I
drugs
appreciate
sell
that.
themselves, man.
Sir Tice, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. He says 5 kids. Actually, Judge made a slight correction. Well, I think
Thank you.
I think Jessica or somebody said it changes whether she has 4 or 5, but I think 5 is the higher end. So that's probably what it is. But either way, thanks for the super chat, Sir Tice. Appreciate it.
Listen, I actually happen to agree, right? As the CEO of Judge Jilla the Beast, turn up, bust down, eagle out, twerk school. Umar Johnson has made a tremendous difference. He's actually been a lifeline for my school staying afloat.
It's no different to Derek Jackson. What he does is he knows how women work, and primarily they just want to be told things that make them feel good. And he's realized that and he's jumped on it.
Let's just keep it real. Derek Jackson is eye candy for females, man. I mean, it don't matter what you say, it's who's saying it, right? So, I understand who I am as a man, that if I go out and talk to women, that I can say things to them that other dudes can't because, I have a certain thing about me, right? Whether I look or, just who I am. So certain men can get away with doing things that other men can't. They like the muscles. They want to look at the tall muscles and all that shit. They don't give a fuck about what this dude's saying.
Yeah, but
I think it's a combination. It's their dream man, plus he's telling them all the things they want to hear. You can't get any better than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if he was saying that, but he didn't look like that, it wouldn't matter. So
it wouldn't be as effective. Yeah,
but I've been getting away with talking about black female fuckery for 5 years straight, and I'm still here.
That's been a while.
But you get your love from brothers though, old man. You ain't got a bunch of sisters like
Again, do we have to illustrate it? It's only sexual harassment.
Truth, man.
It's only sexual harassment if she's not attracted to you or you reject her.
Well, but what I'm saying is, black women. See, before the Derek Jackson cartel, there was the black female fuckery cartel. They attempted to try to run me and other brothers off YouTube, and it failed.
Yeah.
Actually, white women have a Derek Jackson too. His name is Matthew Hussey.
Yep.
I know who he is. Out of matter of fact, he's in Jesse's neck of the woods, out of the UK. I know who he is.
So come on, man. Like, it is what it is, man. Motherfuckers are simple, man. Like, we keep trying to overcomplicate and give people credit. These people are working with reptile brains, bro. This shit. I mean, just the lowest common denominator, man.
But
that's how these people are operating, man.
So so how do we resolve that?
What do you mean resolve it? Why are you trying to? What do you mean resolve it? You understand how the world works. Now you have to work accordingly. Listen, man, you understand that a fucking rattlesnake is going to kill you, okay? So you don't stick your fucking hand in the bucket with it, all right? So that's how you resolve it. You ain't going to try to re-engineer the snake. God already did that. You can't change it. You understand its nature.
It's only going to change. Sorry, Keith. I was going to say it's only going to change with legal and societal forcing. Legal, like the law and society forcing accountability on women. That's the only way you're going to see a change in behavior. Otherwise, why change if you don't have to?
Well, exactly. Here's the thing for me. I may not be able to change society, but I can change what goes on in my own crib.
Roger that. And that's what I mean. Like, you can choose what you allow into your life, but you're not going to change people, man. Like,
well, but sifting for gold is a hard life. Does anybody get the metaphor?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, what was that old Bible verse, trying to pass through the eye of a needle, some shit like that.
Something of the nature. Again, if the culture, so based on what Obsidian said, right? You can handle what happens in your own household, right? But you've got to find that woman first. If the overarching culture and society are promoting the alternative, the opposite of what you're looking for, sifting for gold is a hard life.
Yeah, it decreases your probability the way that the culture is set up. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And especially if you're sifting for gold in a septic tank.
That's why you have to just start with what Obsidian's doing, because right now you can't control the greater society. You cannot control the legal system. All you can control is your own, as he said, his house, his property, his life, and you decide what you bring into that. And if enough men in society start taking that same route and saying, okay, I'm deciding what I want and I'm not putting up with less, they'd get more power. That's how you reclaim your power. But then there are too many men who are just saying, okay, well, that's the way society is. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to accept it. And they're just reinforcing the women's behavior.
Yes. Well, what happens with men, Jess, is men get wore down, right? Because think of from a man's perspective, everything in the universe is telling you it's trying to make a bitch out of you, right? Your mom is trying to make a bitch out of you from childhood. Your teachers are trying to make a bitch out of you. All the women you date are trying to make a bitch out of you. You got to work. You go to work. You're somebody's bitch. Like everything in the universe is telling you to stuff your nuts inside as a man and acquiesce, right?
The 44th president is trying to make a bitch out of you.
You know what I mean? So that's where that whole happy wife, happy life. It doesn't start off like that. It start off awesome. But what happens is the man just gets wore the fuck down. And so finally you're like, you know what? I just don't feel like arguing with this bitch. So it's just more fucking, you see the old tired husband that just sits in his chair as his wife is in the kitchen yapping and he just drinks his, okay, whatever. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Just to stay peaceful. I don't have the energy to fight every battle. So men just get wore the fuck down and then you just take the path of least resistance. That's what fucking happens, man.
Well, what I would say is, by the way, remember when we talked about this on Friday, Bernie, that the single biggest problem to St. Kevin's success could very well be YouTube in the form of red pill raged black women? Boy, it happened. Yeah. It happened the other night. That's what Kevin was responding to last night. The night before, there was a sister who took it to, she's written red pill rage because he told her the red pill. And she was enraged, and she went to the YouTube Politburo and tried to, mess with Kevin. And he fought right back. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of red pill rage among black women. This is a prediction you can write down, Keith. There's going to be a lot of red pill rage. A lot of these sisters are not going to be able to handle what St. Kevin is laying down there.
Oh, yeah. We already talked about that, man, about, how you're going to see just such a rise in people. We were talking about that when we were talking about you seeing the rise of like women setting dudes up on Tinder dates and shit like that, right? This is all a symptom, right? You're gonna see a lot more of that shit. Women are losing their shit, bro, and it's gonna get worse. Wait until September, October. Oh, it's gonna be a long winter.
But weren't we told by the loyal opposition to the Black Manosphere, C Boogie Productions, etc., so forth, that the black men in the Black Manosphere, these red pillars, these guys that ain't got no life, they live online. They got all this red pill rage. We can't handle it. We're all Elliot Rodgers and waiting in blackface and all the rest of it. Wasn't that supposed to be true?
I mean, I'm not listening to a dude, who needed a Tyco my first suit. All right, I ain't worried about niggas like that, man. Like some dudes in here, they're just white noise to me, man. Like some dudes are trying to find their little grind, their little hustle, their little talking point, their little thing that they could be known for. All right, sometimes dudes are trying to get the backs. I ain't listening to them fucking guys, man. I like dealing with people who are real and honest about the fucking world, and not dealing with people with fucking agendas any fucking way. So I don't give a fuck what he got to say. I destroyed his ass on O'Shea's a couple years ago any fucking way. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's over. I mean,
Ty City in the building with another super chat. He says, "Control your house until you can't, and then never mind."
And well, he said, no. Let me give you control your house until you can't, and then
old man.
Well, never mind.
Shit like that.
Yeah,
old man, is why
part.
I had to cam up. You know what I mean? Because I got tired of that. You niggas is just broke niggas not doing. You know what I mean? Anybody that knows anything about my life ain't the case. I love these conversations, but
right.
I mean, people gonna say whatever they need to say to deny the world around them, man. It is what it is, man.
Well, but again, the opposition again equates this. Now get this. For myself, I've been in a lot of physical confrontations. I've practiced combatics with a lot of people on real time on a real range, and I believe that Silent Lamont has as well. In different environments, but same combat, right? When walking away becomes an act of aggression, when you can call walking away an act of aggression.
Oh, what does that mean?
Well, I think what he's describing is what you referred to as weaponized bachelorhood.
Yeah. MGTOW, SYSBM.
I mean, man, look at how much
equated with Elliot Rodgers.
Yeah.
Well, of course it has to be because the hyperbole has to happen, But
the argument goes that we cannot handle the truth that these women do. They're calling us nice guys, but really what they're saying is we're unattractive. We can't handle that, and the reason why we can't handle that is because if women told men the truth, we men would just turn into green rage monsters, tear up the joint. Elliot Rodger will be reincarnated in blackface this time, and we're going to burn down the house.
And I agree with all of that. Let's assume I agree with all of that. So I just walk away. You're right. I can't handle it. So therefore, I won't play this game. Like, there's a reason why I'm not an MMA fighter.
Well, that's the thing. If you walk away, you're just not man enough. You're just not strong enough. And as Angela Stanton says, a real man puts up with his wife sleeping around. He minds his business.
Then we're in agreement. Then why do you want me back?
Because penis with pockets.
If I'm not a real man, if I'm not strong enough to be able to handle it, what makes me a viable candidate?
Listen, man, because at the end of the day, Judge, I don't care what most women say. She don't want to open up that light bill at the end of the month and then have to whip out her own debit card to pay it, man.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
And the dudes with daughters. Oh, you got to take some of these girls. You got to take some of these women off my hands.
And this is the thing. They need you.
Good luck.
They need you around just in case.
Like even remember, old man, when we were talking about the I was talking about like the sugar baby. They're looking like for these basically relationships. But they're sugar babies, right? But they want that to be the relationship.
Right.
Now, when you listen to Kevin's streams, don't it sound awfully lot like that?
Yeah. But
don't it sound awfully like I just want a nigga to pay? You know, they try to. I just want a nigga to pay all my bills. That's why I want to get married. When it comes down to it, all the questions, I just need a nigga to pay all my bills. That's it.
Right. But the problem is, see, the problem, and I only speak for myself here. See, I don't have a problem with a sugar baby that's an actual sugar baby. She can make the argument that she just wants a man to pay her bill. She might, break him off a little something here and there. But for the most part, she just got a guy that pays the bill. If she is an actual sugar baby, I can understand that argument. But when you're like one of these broads on Kevin's shows talking about you 5'4", $190, sis, and you 40 years old, you 45, 46 years old, you got two little weapons nipping at your heel. Sis, you're not a sugar baby.
This is what I want.
Obsidian sugar babies have requirements. When I am in the presence of a sugar baby that I am facilitating, she is to do what is required physically, by physically pleasuring me and environmentally pleasuring me.
But how much environmental pleasure can you get with a broad that's 5'4", look like a refrigerator? There are physical requirements and there are environmental requirements. If you don't meet those criteria, then what? Again, but they want to continue to meet those criteria because, well, you do know there's a fit, attractive woman on the inside, right?
Well, this is what I want Kevin to start doing. When he asks women the question, do you want to not have to pay significant bills when you're married? Now, most women are just going to knee-jerk reaction say no, they don't want to pay significant bills when they're married. He should follow that up with asking them why and then see what they say. Mm-hmm. Now, the correct answer to that question, if her head is on straight, she's thinking in terms of she wants to take care of the kids. She wants to take care of the house because I know I could be a more effective wife and mother. It'll be better for the overall greater good of the children. If she's thinking about not paying significant bills because she's thinking about, just the overall functioning of the household and the family in a traditional sense, and she's saying the right words, at least mouthing the platitudes of wanting to carry out the role of a traditional woman, then she's answered the question correctly. But if he asks them why, but I'm getting to that. But if he asks them why, and then they can't answer the question, then then they could just get put in that category. Okay, you just want a man to pay bills just because you just don't want to work and pay bills, and you just want to be lazy. You just get in the bag, She-Ra 7 style. That's all you're thinking about.
Yes. And when I think about this, here's the one thing I wish I would get pushback on when they say this, because at the end of the day, that's arrogant as fuck, right? Like, everybody got to work, right? Like, most people understand, you got to work, right? So how arrogant is it that you even have the thought that I'm going to go into a relationship and then I'm not going to, if you get that and then it just happens, you just, you hit the lotto, get it. But for that to even be a thought of a person, you know what I mean? Like, you're already telling me you're trying to hustle. I'm sorry, because everybody know they got to work. It takes a selfish, narcissist individual to think they don't got to fucking work, man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
But again, I could go along with that if she was hot. These broads look like hungry hippos. By the way, did you know that the main animal that kills human beings in Africa are hippos? Did you know that?
I heard that. Yeah. I heard that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hippos ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah, then crocodiles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why they call it hungry hippos.
I'm saying when you go overseas, man, I think being in the military, being overseas, when you understand that these women are beautiful and they're astrophysicists and they contribute, and then you come back to America, because the problem is because there's such a deficit of beauty here, right? Because there's not a lot of beautiful women here. So we capitulate. You go over here to Europe or Australia, the women are beautiful, they have jobs, and then they understand that there's a mortgage. All right.
No. Only if you limit yourself to one demographic, then you're right.
And like I'm out here in Plano.
There's enough
all
beautiful
right?
women here of all varying cultures and backgrounds to sate. But
I
if
would
you
agree with that.
yourself-
You got to get. I was at a game night here Saturday out here in Frisco. You know, my man is doing it. His wife is. I mean, could he afford to pay for the house by himself? I mean, yeah, probably. But just their interact, it's the collaboration. Ain't nobody thinking like, well, he's just gonna go out. Like, this shit is insane to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's selfish. The fact that we even accept that as a notion. No, but you going out to work. What the fuck do you think you ain't got to work? Like, because you're setting men up. You're setting men up in the real world that they have to even meet that expectation. Because if a woman even thinks that they can even ask for something like that, men in the real world are expected to do shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, let me. Well, it's two things. First things first. Mister, thank you for the super chat. He says these huge heifers want to be sugar babies, but look like they got type 2 diabetes. Thank you for the super chat, Mister. One thing that do need to get dispelled here, and as far as defending the good name of Saint Kevin, as Obsidian calls him, there's a misconception out there, and Obsidian, you can speak to this better than anybody. The misconception is that the same huge heifers, as they've been called just recently, those same huge heifers that call into the show and saying that, I'm 42 years old and I got 3 kids and I'm 5'3", and I just lost 30 pounds, and so that puts me down to 220 pounds and this and that, so. The misconception is that Kevin Samuels' Facebook group, The Mix, the same chicks that's calling into the show are the same chicks that are in the mix.
I don't even think that. That's
no.
Here's what,
Wait, hold on. I want to get official word from Obsidian. I know what the answer is, but I do feel like it need to get put out there because it's been said by a lot of people that Kevin Samuels is trying to throw these broken chicks that's calling the show onto high value men in the mix. I just want Obsidian, who's a member, to go ahead and set that straight.
Absolutely not true. I mean, the women that call in to Kevin's show and the women that are actually in the mixed group are like night and day. No comparison on any level whatsoever. That being said, even the ladies that's in the group say some crazy stuff. Kevin's going to air it out.
Yeah, they're still women. They're going to say some crazy shit, but that distinction did need to be made, because if I understand it right, Kevin Samuels, so extremely long waiting list, and he vets everybody before he lets them in.
What is the average age of the women in the group?
I would say late 20s, average.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
And they're highfalutin, attractive women, right?
Yep.
So what's wrong with them? Because at the end of the day, I'm sorry, like we live in this world where 28. No, if you are that as a woman, you got by 23. And if you out here hanging around 26, 27, 28, 29, there's something wrong. I'm sorry.
I see.
Well, number one, they're lying.
Gotcha.
Number one.
I'm sorry.
I see what KT was saying now. I understand where he's coming from with it.
You dig deep enough, you follow a camera around for 2 fucking weeks, you're gonna find out why.
I don't
Shit,
disagree with
2 weeks, 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what Keith is saying there. I'm good with it.
I mean, you're not gonna meet no 35-year-old diamond in the rough. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh no, and I agree with that. There are. I'm not in the mix, but I would assume that there are some women who are decent looking, who probably grew up in this American culture of got to get their education and all of this and got to build themselves up essentially like a man. And now they're probably finding out late to the game that you should have been trying to get married when you were in your earlier part of the 20s. So it's probably some like that have had, that are being retaught or taught late what they should have been doing. But
and you can't teach that, Bernard. A wife is made, born, or whatever. You're not going to take a 28, 29-year-old woman who's used to doing the fuck she want, and then she just going to get on your plan. No, because if that was the case, she would have had a husband by now. You know what I mean?
I understand that. No, doing what the fuck she want. It's a difference. If she's out there on full-blown fuck shit, that's one thing. But if she just had some misinformation that she was supposed to build her career and then get married after 30, that's another thing. So it's levels
You
to the
still
fuck
belong
shit.
to the game, B. You still
I've got
talking about you still talking about committing my future and finances and resource. Like that's a lot at fucking stake there, B.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. It's a tough call. Like marriage, yeah, it's a tough call. It's a tough call. Yeah.
Look, I've got pushback. Hold on a second, because again, we're in this echo chamber, right? We're in this echo chamber. No offense to anybody by calling it an echo chamber, but we're in this where we're every day we're inundated with, oh man, dude, men need to realize their worth. Men need to realize their value. Women need to do this and women need to behave that way, yada, 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 right? We've all heard this over and over and over again, right? Now, look, these women that are on that Facebook, they're not dealing with us. They're dealing with blue pillars. So for you to tell me that you're attractive, fit, and financially literate, and you cannot find a man, or a man has not found you, and you haven't been proposed to a couple of times. No, it's what you're looking for. Again,
hold on, but that's
like
where the
4 years
fuckery comes. Hold on, that's where the fuckery comes in.
Yes.
On those ones, because when you talk to them, you will find out that they have turned down some proposals, or they may have had that guy at 22, but they thought that they could do better. So they no doubt has been packed in, got some misinformation, inceptioned into their head. I'm not denying that.
Yeah. And if that's the case, then they are too unwise for me to invest in.
Yeah. No, because what was it? That lady that came out like 5 years ago on YouTube, that matchmaker lady, the black woman matchmaker lady, right? At least 5 years ago. It might have been 7 years ago that she made the video, but at least 5 years ago that she made the video saying, "Look, you guys, you have too many demands that you don't qualify for."
Right? That was 3 years ago. That was the Rebecca Lynn Pope. That was in the fall of 2017. So that was about roughly 3 years ago. That video has exceeded 1 million views. 1 million.
Okay, but I don't know what her name is, and maybe I'm over. Okay, I'll acknowledge that.
Her name is Rebecca Lynn Pope.
But 3.5 years ago, okay, 3.5 years ago, saying the exact same thing.
Yep.
And then in the same video saying, "Yeah, I'm out of business because I can't deal with my clients."
Nope.
And as much as I listened to her. She did a show with the brothers roommates. The podcast, whatever. The roommates is what they call it. Yeah. But I did catch her. Even she said, even I was full of that fuckery. Mm-hmm. Even she had some difficulty with her marriage or something like that. Right. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't care if the law forces whatever, you know what you got, man. Like, at the end of the day, they've shown you that. Go after there as a man, go after there and build yourself up, and then fuck the woman you want. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah.
All right. Because that's what I learned. When I told you, Bernard, man, I was engaged to Ebony. I was like 23, right? And we broke up, like I was 27, right before I went to the military, right? And I had that epiphany, like I'm a smart fucking guy. I'm a genius. And I just wasted 5 years of my life picking up someone else, right? And I was able to still do that successfully. So if I could have taken that same energy that it took for me to pick up this other person for the doldrums, if I invest that into myself, man, in 5-6 years, it would be what's up. So that's exactly what I did. And now I don't have to gain women, man. I'm just surrounded by women, and you just have conversations. Man, leave this bullshit behind, man. Yes. All this arguing and negotiating. If a bride, if she giving you resistance, she not for you, man.
Exactly. Thank you, Silent. The attraction method versus the hunting method. You attract them, and then you sift through them.
If you got to game a bitch to like you, convince a broad to like you, all that shit is fleeting, man. A woman's gonna tell you that she like you, man. Like all this other shit we trying to do is the reason why our relationships don't work out. Because we basically trying to convince people who don't fucking want us. And they tell you every day they don't want you. And we over here trying to, but we're men, so, we're trying to fix the world and figure the shit out. but you can't negotiate with the devil, man. Hey, go out there and make this money, man. It's a big ass world. I guess allegedly after they open it back up, but hey, man.
Yeah, no, everybody agree with that part. That definitely get out there, make your money, build yourself up, get yourself together. Then your options are increased, and then you got to easy go about it, regardless of what the overall lay of the land or the terrain is. Like, that's. I think everybody's on board with that one.
Yeah, but also don't sandbag yourself before you start.
It's funny, like remember I was talking about what was the little joke about when a nigga rolls up at high school with the cool car and shit, right? Mm-hmm. So it's funny, cause what was I at? Let's say Whole Foods or something. So I was, I roll up my, my rides, clean, whatever. I can get out looking clean. And I'm talking to these females, whatever. I get one of the ladies' numbers or whatever. So I do my little charming thing, and I get in my car and pull off. But I'm looking in my rear view, and I'm like, these broads are looking at me driving the fuck off. Holy shit, I'm the cool nigga rolling up in the RX-8, driving the fuck off. When I roll up to a party with my lady or whatever. So be that nigga, man. I don't know, man.
But again, don't sandbag yourself before you get started. I.e., really simple. Graduate high school with no children.
My buddy Joe, my Marine buddy, I first moved to Dallas. He was married, a white guy actually, man. And this was a time where I was telling how I was like out and about in Dallas, man, doing the heavy. And it was like, man, you need to, you got your life together. You need to get married, man. You out here chasing these party girls, da da da. Wife took him for $100,000. Got married again. And he just, called me like, man, Keith, you was right, man. All them times, man, we had them conversations. His wife ended up cheating. This is the white dude making $150,000. She, wife's up a woman that's got a child already. So there's nothing. You can't do anything, all right? You make enough money. Will Smith show you could be handsome, tall, famous. I've saved the universe from aliens a couple times. Like, what can you do?
Hold on, real quick. Complex, you said you got kicked off the panel. I'm the only one with the trigger button to kick somebody off a panel, and I never kicked you off a panel. So this is like the second time I heard you say that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you're saying you get kicked off a panel. Like, I've never kicked you off a panel. So I'm a little confused by that one.
What you're seeing now is a result of the internet, man. One of the things you look at where you're talking about Obsidian about beauty, right? There was this article, I think, people have probably read it.
Let me jump in on that point, because there was a number of people that try to clown me for that, talking about beauty matters. No, it does matter, man.
No, I agree. I know definitely beauty matters for sure.
And I'm agreeing with your point. Look, man, the bottom line is it ain't all black men's fault, man. It goes back to what Sister Shahrazad Ali has been asking for 30 years. Hey,
fellas, real quick. Oh, man. Hey, I got to jump into this office. It's been good, brother. Peace to the panel. Peace to the chat.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Peace out, man.
Hey, no doubt.
We all know that black men are responsible for 50% of the problem here. Everybody's in agreement. I'm talking about Sister Shahrazad Ali now. She said this 30 years ago. We all know that black men are responsible for 30% of the problem. We get that. Granted. But what part of the problem are black women responsible for, and how does it manifest? That was 30 years ago. I'm sorry, man. At some point, you got to look at the women, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same.
Blitz, hold on, real quick. Blitz 7094. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. He says, you see black women put themselves in bracket that is over their head, and they don't qualify for that bracket. Stays over their head like a halo. That's funny.
Yeah, and
thank you for the super chat. Real quick, just real quick want to handle this, because Complex, my man, he says my co-host, but the thing you got to understand, a co-host does not have power to boot or kick or remove anybody from anything. He could harshly criticize or argue with you, but he can't bump you down. He just can yell. So if you got bumped down, maybe the connection dropped, but you didn't get kicked off the panel. Only I could do that, and I've never kicked you off a panel. So maybe there was some confusion with that one. I don't know. I don't know. I know you and Obsidian have had some run-ins, but you've never been kicked off a panel. Not by me.
I want to respond to a faceless dude named Jalen Roddy in the chat room. He says, "Oh man, you will never get a woman to hold herself accountable. So why try? Black men get power, then we hold them accountable. No, you get power, and then you hold the black women in your life accountable."
Bingo.
Yeah.
You
Bingo.
get power. You.
Well,
yeah, he don't realize, well, maybe he realizes it. He dodges it when I calls him on it, but he's making the Cynthia G argument, basically saying that black women are justified in acting however they want to act until the collective of black men does something. Doesn't matter what an individual black man is doing in his life.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah, she's until that goes back to that key, build a spaceship, but it got to have time travel argument, or as I say, until we collectively build Wakanda, the individual man who's doing what he's supposed to do, you're basically arguing that the individual woman that he's with, that he's working hard for, is supposed to, still give him have some type of contempt towards him because of what the collective of black men is not doing. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Right.
Yeah,
but
by the way, speaking
the
of
Amish community's
CTG,
not growing,
did y'all hear about her running off from yet another debate? Did y'all hear about that?
No.
No.
Yeah, she ran off from yet another debate. I just got the word from one of my listeners.
What happened?
She was supposed to debate Mr. Research and punked out.
Right. Well, but okay, right. So let me illustrate this way. The Amish community is not growing by significant amounts. Yes, they're having children, but a lot of those children are leaving the Amish community. Right? For the greater parts of America. Because right, it's just not a lifestyle that's foreseeable of maintaining for in the modern age. Now, for collectively black men to have power, things would have to change, as Jessica illustrated earlier. That change is not going to happen. Look at the overarching politics of the first world. It's not going to happen. Look at our current financial and economic situation. It's not going to happen. What they're going to do is give more. Like, you think that they're going to take away entitlements? You think we're going to institute austerity measures?
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing.
With all these women who need resources?
Here's my thing. At the end of the day, it comes down to my crib and what I say. My word is law in my house.
Understandable.
Now, if she don't want to abide by the rules of my house, where everything that has a dollar amount on it comes in my name, if she can't rock with that, there's the door.
Understandably, I don't disagree with that, but again, the Amish community isn't growing.
Okay.
That's as much as you can hope to achieve, is my point. That's as much as you can hope to achieve, because the overarching society and civilization is going in a different direction.
So what?
Right. So essentially, hold on real quick, Obsidian. So Judge, it sounds like what you're saying, what it essentially amounts to is that, yes, the individual man has to fight for his individual power in this capitalist market where there's a huge gap between the rich and the common folks. And so if you are a regular common guy and you do well in your regular common shit, that's your power that you ultimately have. People are talking as if the fact that there's a lot of rich white top 1%ers, as if that somehow trickles down to the regular average Joe common white guy, and now he has power.
Right.
That gives him some type of authority in his relationship, all because, well, Bill Gates built Microsoft. It's a stupid argument that only black people make.
You know what, Bernie? I would love for you to expand on that, because you really got your finger on the pulse here. Your argument is that on this whole submission argument. Now I recently talked about this over on Mixler, but we can revisit it briefly here. Your argument is on the black female side of the debate, that their reasoning is that were it not for black men not doing fill in the blank, we would submit. Your argument is, and then they often will use, y'all being dominated by white men, or y'all don't do the same thing white men do, blah, blah, blah. Your argument is that's all bullshit. You're just using all of that as a fig leaf and a scapegoat, because in truth, you're just a disagreeable bitch. Could you expand on that?
Yeah, that's essentially what it was. I actually touched on that earlier in the show, where I was just describing how a woman being feminine and submissive is not contingent upon what a man is doing or not doing. Is definitely not contingent upon what the collective of men with a similar skin tone to her are doing or not doing. So yes, that's where I'm at with that. An individual white woman can go rogue and be a combative bitch if she wants to. She can do whatever she wants to do, and she don't have to marry the universal monolithic collective of white men. She only has to marry one white man, and that one white man has his own individual merits. He's either doing right by her or not doing right by her. She's either going to do right by him or not do right by him. And the country is set up to where she can leave. She can go be independent. She could go make her own money. She could live her own life. She could do whatever she wants to do. It's all a la carte. It's all by choice here. And you're going to make choices based off, how you operate as an individual. So this collective argument when it comes to submission, and O'Shea touched on that, and I disagree with O'Shea, because he was saying, if black men built more institutions or more this or more that. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, there's a black woman. She's with a black guy. He makes $70K a year. She makes $35K a year. They get in a relationship. She's being a combative, bitchy, uncooperative, or as you said, insubordinate woman. How would, if our talented 10th or our top 3%ers or top 1%ers built more institutions or foundations, how would that change her personality?
That's a good question. That's a fair point. I think I knew it's very, very hard to convey all of these complex concepts in the space of 10 minutes or less in the video. So there's no way O'Shea could have done all that. I explained it on my show, my live show. I'll put the link in the chat room in case anybody missed it. I explained it and expanded on it. But I do thank O'Shea for opening the door to that discussion. And that what he means in a nutshell is this. If black men worked more together, formed their own networks and what have you, they could form up a degree of influence, not just with regard to black women, but in other areas of human endeavors, politics, commerce, you get the idea.
Yes.
But with regard to black women, if black men formed up their own successful business, political networks, right, that would give them a degree of leverage in the mating market insofar as black women are concerned on this submission, or as I call it, insubordination question. I do see his point. However, it still starts out with individuals. The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if you have a bunch of weak dudes trying to do something, it ain't gonna work.
Moynihan scissors.
Exactly my point.
All right, well, we got Jalen Roddy in the building. You said you're tired of smut on your name, LOL, and so yeah, I'll let you go ahead and fire away. My response to Obsidian, I feel like, well, I'll respond to Obsidian, then I'll throw it to you. I feel like the argument about black men building institutions and doing this and doing that and gaining more political power and all of that, yes, I'm willing to say that it will improve our overall collective image. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing, and we should strive towards that. I think it's a spin move to try to take that aspect of something that black men do need to do and try to smuggle that into interpersonal relationships.
Exactly.
That's an ultimate spin move.
And the reason
we've already seen empirical evidence of the opposite.
And my only thing is, in the year 2020, does any black woman really need to do that? Why can't you just simply say, look, I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. I don't want no man telling me what to do. I got this.
Well, because they're resource hungry.
Well, go ahead, Jalen. You said, go ahead. You can pick it up wherever you want to. You said you've been getting smut on your name ever since your couple appearances.
I'm just trying to figure out why is there always smut on my name, man?
Well, no, you made a statement that I could analyze and disagree with. Well, shit, damn, it's probably gone. What was his initial comment? He said, you said something about get collective power. You said you can't. You argued against a black man saying I can set the rules and standards in my house by saying that nope, that won't work. Black men have to get collective power in order for an individual man to have his individual rules and regulations and how he operate in his house.
No,
I think that's an accurate summary.
That's not what I responded to. That's not what I responded to is old man every week he says, when are black women going to wake up and grow up? And my question is, what country, what society in the entire planet holds men to the same accountability as women?
What do you mean?
What society in the entire planet holds men to the same accountability standards as men?
Are you kidding me? You never heard of the Asian tigers?
How is he holding women to the same accountabilities?
I'm waiting for what country holds women.
Explain to me how he's holding women to the same accountability standards.
Isn't that the goal of Sweden, Denmark, and Switzerland?
Oh, you mean the country that has the most welfare?
Well, yes, that's
so
because they have social safety net programs.
How are you holding women accountable if you give them welfare? I just want to know.
Because men receive the same welfare.
I said, how are you holding women accountable because they receive?
I think this is a spin
I answered
move.
Your question that you said earlier. You're responding to my answer of your question with another question as if it's the same question.
Oh, and by the way, I think you did steal David Johnson's avatar. Thanks, Laro. I think you probably should switch that up. But anyway,
I'll look for a picture of a lion.
No, you good for now. You good for now. Just but that is worth pointing out. I think somebody's already using that one. But no, hold on. I need this question answered. Okay. How is Obsidian holding women to the same standard of men?
Because you really believe that women are gonna somehow wake up and by themselves grow up. I mean. Are we really, how long are we going to wait for that? 2030?
I never made any such argument.
But you keep saying how long is it going to take for women to grow up and you think they're going to make the decision by themselves.
I never said that.
So what did you say, old man?
I'm saying that there's a both and proposition here. On the one side, yes, black men need to become competent. You want power? I hear a lot of black men talk about power. You know what power is? Power is competence. We need more black men to stop being incompetent and learn how to be competent. That goes beyond how tall they are, what color their eyes are, how much of a six-pack they got. That's number one. Number two, more black men need to link up with other competent black men and work together for a unified, higher purpose.
Okay, here's my problem with that statement. Because when I came on here a few weeks ago, I said the exact same thing, but because I quote unquote agreed with a woman, I was a simp.
Jalen, stop it, man. Stop it. I've observed you several times.
Man. You gotta think.
Hold on, wait. Let him say. Let Judge say it.
Look. I've observed you several times with several different panel members, man. On this very show, you twist and manipulate things that you say after the fact. You never verbatim give your response. You always manipulate it, man. And I don't understand how you're so disingenuous.
I'm disingenuous? But
because you say you make arguments that you never make.
I said when black men need a culture and work collectively and think on a higher level, I'm a simp now. I'm a simp.
You're only saying part of the argument that you presented.
Hold on, I got you, Judge, because he just did it again.
Exactly.
Okay. When you say black men need to work towards higher purpose, work collectively, do things to gain power, that is a statement that everybody can agree with. When you make another argument, that implies that an individual black woman is justified in her individual fuckery with the individual man that she's dealing with, regardless of whether or not he's on point or not, then you're caping for the fuckery. Then you're mixing the black men need to build more vertical businesses, gain more political power, work together collectively argument. You're merging that into the interpersonal relationships arguments, and those things are completely separate. Now, if you were to tell me, incompetent, that individual woman who's dealing with him shouldn't have respect for him and should leave him, now we agree. When you're saying the collective, when you're saying, hold on, when you're saying, okay, go ahead.
That's the problem. Like, for example, let's go back to what I mentioned Cynthia G earlier. I asked Cynthia G flat out, why are you with an incompetent black man? I asked her flat out, straight up. If the problem is, you get no argument with me if you want to tell me there are incompetent black men out here. No argument on that. The problem I have is, why do you keep sucking and fucking and reproducing with them?
Real quick. All right, I've heard 2 complaints from the Peanut Gallery, Black Wolf. What's going on? What's happening here? He says he keeps banning me for no reason. Moderators, do y'all because I don't watch the YouTube chat nearly as much as I should. Do y'all concur? Because y'all can see what he's blocking and deleting them for. Do y'all concur that he's blocking or deleting or timing out for no reason? Let me know, moderators. Is he is Black Wolf overstepping his bounds with the is he going too wild with the wrench? Y'all let me know.
So going back to what I was saying, see, my position is both and. It's a both and proposition, but it starts with the individual black man.
Right.
Okay, so if black women like Cynthia G keep complaining about black men, we got to make a distinction. There are competent black men. She doesn't want to admit it, because if she does, then she would have to answer the question, how come you can't get a competent black man?
Right.
Why are you always complaining about black men who are fundamentally incompetent?
And I'm going to point this out.
Answer.
I'm still going to point this out. You still haven't responded to Bernard Riley about the comment that you posted earlier and what it's actually supposed to mean. All you did is come up here and claim to be a victim.
No. I'm not a victim.
I'll read out his comment if you want me to.
Oh yeah, go ahead and read it.
He says, "Oh man, you will never get a woman to hold herself accountable, so why try? Black men get power, and then we try to hold them, and then we hold them accountable."
But again, I never made the argument that black women should hold themselves accountable. I was just simply saying, look, this is what I said. I was agreeing with Keith when he says, using Will Smith as an example, you can be a black man and do everything right, and black women can still fuck up. That's true. So what it says here is that it's a both and proposition. What a lot of black women and some black men, Derek Jackson, etc., et al., would like us to believe is that if black men just got their act together, black women would fall in line. That's bullshit. It robs black women of their personal agency and responsibility as human beings. I'm saying it's both. Both black men and black women got to get their fucking act together. Now, if you want to say it starts with black men because they're the leaders, fine. I'll work with that. That still doesn't change the fact that you can be the best of generals, but if you're a fucked up private, you're still a fucked up private.
Well, and it's not going to work without it requires both participation. It's not going to work with all the participation on one side.
Exactly. And what I'm saying is, I'm not asking black women to do anything. What I'm saying is, each black man listening to the sound of my voice right now has the capacity, if they decide to do so, to work with themselves, to become more competent, to be able to be in more control of their own life, which starts with where you put your hat.
So how is that not changing the collective, brother? You keep making this individual
and my divergence from Obsidian. My divergence from Obsidian is this, that women are disincentivized to participate in the advancement of their position to work with black men.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can get as powerful as you want. Just look in the media and see how many powerful men there are. But that doesn't stop women from messing with them. It's the legal system that has to change, because you can get as powerful as you want, but unless the law changes, there's still no accountability.
And the law can change. That's the great thing.
That me saying power means I'm saying money.
That's the great thing about
not just money.
No, I think we knew what you meant when you said power.
It's also the intelligence and discern between the woman you should choose and the woman that you shouldn't choose.
Oh, come on. Don't preach to the choir, bro. We got that part.
Bernard,
we got that part.
Here's my point, man. You guys are like, oh man, it's so hard to find a good woman. No, it's not.
No. Hold on. It's a good woman around the corner in my house and laying in my bed with some.
That's the argument I get.
Sexy panties on.
Even judges.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's my. No, wait. That is my argument. That my argument bolstered by nearly 70% divorce rate. But yes,
it's hard fishing for gold, right? Or it's hard looking for gold.
Sifting, yes.
Okay.
I mean, okay, it's hard, but the terrain right now is the terrain is what the terrain is, and there is some bumpy terrain. But as an individual man, you have to get out there, roll up your sleeves, and compete and do right. You're making an argument that implies that all the problems that men are reporting back with women is because, and you said this when you were previously on the show, that they're picking either just ratchet or out of pocket or picking bad women. Okay, that's a factor into the equation. But there is a core problem with a lot of women that even if they're not one of the wear it on their sleeves problematic one, that you could still run into some problems. But that's when you're talking about an individual relationship like that in picking, yeah, that's something that the guys have to navigate around and do the best they can. I mean, I'm not pinning that on, society. That's an individual thing that an individual got to do.
You have a 30% success rate.
Yeah, and that's why there's the problems that I'm talking about. Wait, hold on. You said
hold it.
You know why you have a 30% success rate? Because black men believe happy wife, happy life.
But hold it though.
No, well, we preach against that here, but yeah.
Jessica made a really good point. Hold it. Jesse made a real good point. See, this is where the collective of black men or black men forming networks comes in. Democracies are designed for change. If you don't like something, you can change it. The reason why black men don't is because we have too many incompetent black men. We need more black men that are lobbyists. We need more black men that are real activists. We need more black men that are organizers. We need more black men that know how to raise money. We need more black men that understand the wheels of justice and legislature and how laws are made. We don't have that because we're too incompetent. We need more of that.
So, Obsidian, where can you find such men?
I'll point one out here that's on YouTube. We could look at Zero as somebody like that, somebody who does actually understand the laws, who understands all the legal things that are going on. There are guys out there like that, but there's just not enough to come together and form a strong collective.
So why aren't there?
Real quick, time out. Let me address the chat room issue again. All right, Liam Trife. Okay, I see why you're getting timed out and blocked. You're not engaging in real conversation. You're just on a rampage, just personally attacking Obsidian. And yes, if you can consistently personally attack an individual on the panel, then yeah, you're a problem. I mean, you're not even in the conversation. You're just fucking with one individual trying to distract from the show. So I understand why you're getting blocked and timed out. So I don't really have a problem with it if that's the only thing you're doing. Liam Strife. Okay, carry on.
So Jessica, why aren't there enough then?
Because we're not pushing it. We're not pushing it as a whole. You have one subset of men who just say, okay, society is what it is. I'm going to put up with it. And I think that's the far majority, right? And then you have another subset who say, I'm going to focus on getting my money up, on making myself successful. And that's all well and good. But there are very few who are focusing on achieving the real power, which is political power. And that's what's lacking. No one really preaches that.
Okay. And I want to say SKC. I want to say real quick. All of this is great. Everything that we're talking about now is absolutely great. My only problem is when people try to take this conversation and try to smuggle it into an interpersonal relationship conversation when a man like Obsidian is saying, no, I work hard, I pay the bills at my house, this is how I run my house. And if somebody then responds by saying, essentially saying black women are justified in being out of pocket, even with the guy doing the right thing, because all that collective stuff isn't together. That's when, hold on, but I'm just want to say, that's when they've smuggled bullshit into the conversation.
I'll tell you why.
But okay, then we're gonna go right back to SKC because I want to see where SKC going. But go ahead, real quick.
I'll tell you the reason why you keep hearing that from both black women and some black men. Let's start with the ladies first. We already know the reason why. A lot of black women don't want it. See, the truth of the matter is, and see, this is what I'm doing. Shameless plug with my dating coach for the non-select guy system. I'm forcing black women into a corner. Slowly but surely, all they can say is, he ain't my cup of tea. They can't say there ain't enough black men that are competent. They can't say there ain't enough black men that are well-dressed and well-groomed. They can't say there ain't enough black men that are successful. He may just not physically appeal to you or whatever. That's a first world problem. That's not a great existential crisis that black women have got a lot of gas out of over the past 3 decades. I'm slowly but surely herding black women into the own corner that they painted for themselves. That's number one. Number two, because the truth is, a lot of black women really don't want to deal with a black man that's on his A game because they know they can't fuck around. Black men that are on their A game ain't gonna take that shit. They find their keister back out on the bricks with the quickness, which leads me to the second part of the answer. The real reason why you hear a lot of black men talking the same thing is because they themselves are incompetent. They can't handle all the bills where they live at. They need a black woman to help them pay bills. See this right here that I got right here, this big ass loft style apartment I got here, everything in here I pay for. Without question, without drama, every single month. So what I say here is law. I am the law. There's nothing to debate here. You got a lot of broads out there think they're going to debate you down. Ain't nothing to debate here. It's my way or the highway. Don't like it? There's a door. I'll help you pack. All your shit is in the box to the left.
All right, Nuruddin, thank you for the super chat. He says, hey, I have a video of the simps and the queens behavior want you to fight and die for, and that's why black men leaving. Hey, damn, Nuruddin, I see you, and it's a bunch of people in the queue. I said I wasn't going over 6 people today. I wanted to keep it at 5, but I definitely said I ain't going over 6.
I'll drop down. I gotta get to work anyway. My alarm just went off.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, I ain't going wild. Some days I will. Some days it'll be open season. Anybody come up, come all. But some days I like to keep it focused if I got a nice got a nice round table. But SKC, you were doing your Perry Mason thing. You was interrogating, so I'm gonna pass it to you and let you ask your questions. You was trying to lead it somewhere, then we got sidetracked. So you got the floor, you got the mic, and go ahead.
SKC. Sure. I mean, Obsidian asked a great question where he said, or a great point where he said we need more competent black men. Judge Zilla stated that there was a 70% failure rate going on between, black men and black women. We know that out of that failure rate and of other subsectors of individuals having these relationships, that 70+% of the women, they typically keep the children. So if they're keeping the children and black women know about politics, they vote and have one of the highest active rates when it comes to politics, then why are the boys not that interested in political actions that help themselves?
Oh yeah, I was on mute. I didn't follow. I didn't follow. Say that again.
So Obsidian stated that you need more black men, more competent black men, right?
Mm-hmm.
I asked the question, where are you going to get them from? And the reason why I asked that is because right now in the community, typically 70+% of the children are from single mothers. Mm-hmm. Those single mothers they are active in politics. Black women have I think out of all the people in America, they have one of the highest activity rates when it comes to politics. Yeah. However, their boys are not active in any type of motions that help themselves. Why?
Oh, well, the answer to the question, the answer was in the question. If the women are, raising the kids, and that's why I'm pro-family, by the way. But if the women are raising the kids and the women are, they're not gonna do right by as far as raising boys that are gonna have that right type of mindset that you're talking about, that Obsidian was referring to. So you're saying why aren't they doing it?
Because so now you have this. So now
hold on real quick, Jalen. Hold on, Jalen.
So now you have all of these young boys that are coming up, and they have already drunk the Kool-Aid for 17, 18 plus years. They actually don't need any rights, and that we got to protect mama. So, yeah, you need more competent black men, but where are they going to come from?
That's easy. I mean, Kevin's already got a group, but there's a whole bunch of real successful brothers. There are all kinds of successful brothers. But the problem with us in the black manosphere is we spend far too much time with ghetto niggas and not enough time with black folk doing the damn thing.
The proverbial business versus the hustler mindset.
Yeah, well, what you're speaking to, SKC, it goes back to what I said, where, a part of the problem in Obsidian speaks to this. You got black men over here, you got black women over here, they meet in the center, they fuck, and then they go back to their separate corners. But when the woman is going back to that separate corner with kids, then it's like, and that's what comes into what I say. One of the most underrated aspects of building is building people, in the way that you properly build people is with children being raised by preferably a man and a woman, a father and a mother in the same house together. That's the ideal best way to properly build people. So I do feel like there's a lot of guys, some of them, rather they're anti-marriage or not, they're not pro-family. I'll just say that because, we get far into the the woods talking about marriage, but just they don't seem to be pro-family. Well, where are we going to go to your question? Where are we going to find these men? So,
Bernard, just to give you a point in case, and this just came to me some time ago because I thought this way in a bit, but when my nephew sent me something, it opened my eyes a little wider. There were these young boys, 4 of them, that they have this a similar type of manosphere-ish podcast type of thing on TikTok. And the file that my nephew sent me, it was about 4 hours long, and it had I think 80,000 views or whatnot, and people chatting in or whatnot, all this other stuff at that time. And the whole time, you could just imagine all of these boys. There was no one that was over 23, and I think the youngest was maybe 18 or something like that. Just think of this space in the exact reverse. That's what those young black men were talking about. We need to protect mama. Black women are the backbone of the community. Mama has shown us this and that. I was like, what the heck?
Oh, damn.
Mama.
And this is why we gotta do it right, fellas. We gotta do it right. This is how you gotta do it. Mama!
So after I get to finish with this work, man, because I know I gotta finish up your stuff, but I'm gonna send you all that file, man. I'm gonna break it down into pieces, and I mean, it's shocking. And these are young minds, some of them college-educated minds.
That's interesting. Little Aaron G. Fountains in the making over there. Okay. All right. Lasher Deviance Gaming Channel says black women know nothing about politics. They just vote for who the church. Okay, that's a good point. I've seen that firsthand back many moons ago when I used to go to church. They just vote for who the church and their big mama tells them to vote for. Before you go, Jessica X, before you say what you was about to say, I'm gonna I gotta look that up because a lot of people talk about black women being a strong political force or whatever. I haven't seen nobody really break down the numbers on that, so I'm gonna do some research on that. But as far as just if we're just talking about voting, it's the stereotype black men don't vote. We actually vote more than Latino men and I think Asian men. So when it comes to being a political force, that's.
And our participation with the GOP is documented to be double where it was 4 years ago itself, the highest that it's been in a generation. So yeah, black men can do this, man. We just got to get our ass in gear.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jessica. Yeah. And Jalen, I know you was trying to jump in there. I'm going to you next, Jalen. Go ahead, Jessica.
So as far as I know, Black American women have the highest participation rate when it comes to going out and voting, right? Out of all the demographics. And Lasher, Deviance Gaming says Black women know nothing about politics. They just vote for who the church and their big mama tell them to vote for. That is a misconception. It happens, but for the wider part, don't fool yourself. Black women are actually researching into politics and they are voting for who serves them the best deal. They're self-serving when they're going out to vote. And so they're always voting in their self-interest. And so black men also need to look into politics, look into it properly, and be self-serving as well when they're voting. Black women are doing it. They're not, you think it's Big Mama, but they're not. They're actually having circles where they, on YouTube, Facebook, other platforms, wherever it may be, and they're seeing who works for them. Who's going to give them the best deal? Who's going to help them to stay on top? And so black men need to do the same.
I think there are black male or black female, you can find YouTube channels where they're talking about politics. I don't hear black women here on the ground in America talking that tough about politics that much. I don't hear it that much, no more or less than what black men are talking about it. I think the high voting numbers may very well be. I hate to say this. I think there's a percentage of black women that, those benefits that, the perception is it comes, I'll go ahead and say it. It comes from the Democratic Party. They get their welfare and all of that's from the Democratic Party. I think that that makes it to where there's a percentage of them that are going to come out in strong force to vote, not voting. And if not voting, potentially means losing welfare benefits, entitlements, incentives, and all of that. So, but far as those that are, more on the intellectual side of it when it comes to politics, I only can name a few that are really deep and well informed in it. I just think it's just the automatic point that's been driven home by the Democrats that we're the ones that are going to give you the incentives and entitlements. You vote, if you let Republicans get in, you're liable to lose that. I remember when George Bush got elected, everybody thought that, oh shit, he's going to end welfare. When Donald Trump got elected, it was oh shit, he's going to end welfare. I think that may be a catalyst or a driving force that keeps black women at the polls, but I'm not 100% sure that they are just that politically astute. Like, sorry, got background noise, but I don't think they're as politically astute as many people think. I don't think so.
I wouldn't
Justin Marks, thank you for the super chat. And also is worth pointing out when it comes to black men needing to, get into supporting their own interests and needing to do this or do that. So many black men are liberal in America to where they think they are, because they think they think the Democratic Party is there to help black people. So they are voting their own interests. They just don't, a lot of them don't understand how counterproductive it is. And then that goes to what Obsidian talks about, how a lot of black men are starting to see that in their voting. They're just now a lot of them voting GOP instead of voting for the Democratic Party. I think that's a lot of that is what's going on.
Well, my last thing was this, Bernard, before I head back out. And I applaud what Obsidian is saying, and I to a certain degree I agree. But when it comes to these these groups that are coming up, it's like they're posed to fight against the very men that are trying to help them. And because they, it kind of suits in with the conversation about the whole thing with submission, because submission goes right along with the ideals of hierarchy. And I believe that when you have young men, young boys that see their mothers on this whole thing of, oh, I don't need to submit to no man or so forth, then they believe the same thing. And but what it does, it feeds over into the ideas of, I don't even need to believe in a hierarchy, even when it comes to competency or any measure when it comes to other men.
All right, Jalen Roddy, go ahead. You've been trying to get in for a while. We're gonna probably wrap up pretty soon. Nardine did want to show a video of some fuckery. We're probably gonna close it out with that. But go ahead, Jalen Roddy. I do want to make sure you get your words in. Hold on, Nardine. We gotta go to Jalen, and I'm gonna do my damnedest not to even give you pushback, man. I'm gonna let you rock. Go ahead, you got it.
Nah, man. Listen, man. I just had a question to kind of piggyback off what SKC said. How many grown black men right now are afraid to tell their mama that they're going to vote for Trump this year?
Are you kidding me?
So my point is that black men, and also the same pushback you'll get from your mom, guess what? That's the same pushback a black man will get at the workplace from another black man ready to go to blows because you say you're going to vote Republican. So when you talk about, black men individually is fine. But as a collective, if we all think like women, then it's just more women. So you have to address the men because we already know that the men are emasculated and the men act like women. And that's the issue that I have, is that when you say something that's a nuanced issue, you're either, he's a feminist, or he's a manosphere guy. There's no nuance in any of this stuff.
All right. Lasher Deviants Gaming Channel came through with another super chat. Thank you very much. He says, black men tend to be... I keep bumping my new mic. God damn it. Okay. All right. Black men tend to be liberal because the vast majority come from single mother-led homes. Black men like myself, who come from intact patriarchal families, tend to be way more conservative. That, I do believe, tends to be the case. It bears out with Obsidian, definitely. All right, Nuruddin, you had said something in the back chat or in the regular chat, if I'm not mistaken, that you had wanted to
the super chat.
Oh yeah, in the super chat. There we go. I knew it. I was highlighted in some way. But all right.
Hey,
Black
Obsidian,
Wolf, get out of there, Black Wolf. You said don't talk about Mike.
Did you get that video I sent you?
I beg your pardon? What was that?
Did you and SKC get that video I sent you?
I'm not sure. I have to check my email.
I sent it to you this morning. It's about a you know what? I'm gonna send it to Bernard right now, and I'm gonna let you see it. And it's pretty disgusting, and it goes to show you why a lot of especially those guys that got a lot of things going for them, they end up leaving. But even when they end up leaving, the saps want you to fight and die for the behavior of the Quine. So I'm gonna send it to Bernard real quick. I found it on Facebook this morning. It was pretty disgusting.
Wow.
All right, yeah, I'm going to my email right now.
It was pretty disgusting.
Yeah, and Supreme King Coon definitely wants you to show the video. He's saying, please show the video in all caps.
Oh, I'm going.
Please show the video.
Oh, I will.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Now, Jessica X, I wanted to ask
crazy.
you.
I was like, holy shit.
Hold on, Nardine, let Obsidian trying to get a question out to Jessica.
This is another complete, this is a complete screwball. But I want to ask you, what do you make of female dating coaches for men?
This is the thing. I think a female can give you a lot of tips as to female nature, as to true female nature, because sometimes there are a few guys who can be on top of how females truly act, but then I hear a lot of stuff that guys say, especially when it comes to things like game and whatnot. I don't want to get into that whole topic, but where they feel they understand female nature and they just don't. So from that aspect, I think there is a lot that a woman could teach a man when it comes to dating, of what to be aware of, what to look out for, things like that.
Yeah, this is a topic a number of guys have stepped to me about, and I've been giving it a lot of thought. And I think we're going to do I hope that we'll do an Obsidian versus the Black Love Industry episode on this topic, because I have been giving it a lot of thought. The idea that this growing crop of female dating coaches for men is a thing,
Bernard Riley,
and all the rest of it. So we'll see. I just wanted to get your take, because I have noticed that you have spoken a little bit on the matter of dating and mating on your channel. As I was driving by, I saw you discussing it in the past week or two. So I figured just to get your take on that. Very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think oh, Nardine, did you got that ready to go?
I'm sending the video now.
Okay, I got the email up, so it should be popping up soon. I don't know. I think some of it, if a woman is being completely honest while she's doing it, I think she can give some good do's and don'ts. I always say male dating coaches, that's mostly what they can do. I think the hardest part about what men do when it comes to being successful with a lot of women, I mean, I think the hardest part of it is, I personally think it's hard to teach, because some dudes just got that ability just to connect and persuade and sell themselves, and I think it's hard to teach that. Go back to the car sales analogy, how that person walks on the car lot. Okay, cool. All right, I got it. How that person walks on the car lot with his guard up, saying, nah, man, I'm just looking, because I was a salesman. I walk up to them, they tell me they just looking, they give you the stiff arm right away. Your job as a salesman, and you can't continue to be a car salesman unless you can make that person make either a $20,000 to $30,000 to $50,000 life purchase that day. Because if you're only selling to the people that walk on the lot already sold, know what car they want, you're not a salesman. You're just a order taker. You're just taking somebody's order. And they can tell real fast, the sales manager can tell real fast who's really a salesman and who's really just an order taker.
Show that video.
And I'm getting to it. And so, when it came to game and all of that stuff out there, I wasn't much of a salesman when it came to game. I was more of an order taker. There were some women that I was just their type. Now I got a little better at game, because you can improve. But most of the time, what I think guys can teach is a lot of good do's and a lot of good don'ts. But I think a lot of it, the part that's harder to teach, is that just overall just ability to just sell and connect yourself and just, connect to somebody. That's hard to teach. So I don't know if a woman can necessarily teach that. I think a man could teach that to a man probably better than a woman. Sort of like the old saying, hold on real quick. Sort of like the old saying, a fish can teach you how to fish, but you can't ask the fisherman can teach you how to fish, but the fish can't teach the fisherman how to catch it. However that saying go. I think I know where I'm going.
But here's the problem I'm having with all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Where are these people getting this information from? See,
what information?
Where are the people who are talking about teaching game and the like? Where are they getting their information from?
out on the field, I presume.
No. But at this point in the year 2020, you should be able to present a nice list of scholarship.
Uh-huh.
I can produce that list.
Yeah, but you see, okay, the problem that people are going to have with that is you're making the I read it in a book argument. They're gonna counter that by saying, but you haven't actually done it. You haven't executed.
Well, that's what they say. That's not what I said. I didn't say I didn't have any experience. I said I had a strong foundation in scholarship.
Just to quickly throw something out there to the people who disagree and say that a woman could not possibly teach a guy anything about dating, would you say that if a woman is looking to date, the only
Bernard, I'm going to restart my line. I'm coming in late.
Yeah, you are behind the stream. For some reason, you always are. I don't understand why, but yeah, go ahead and do what you got to do. But I got the video pulled up. I'm trying to get to it.
I'm going to restart my line.
Yeah, go ahead and finish up, Jessica.
Yeah, would these same people say that a woman should only take advice on dating from another woman? How better to find out what a man really wants in a relationship than to hear from a man himself?
Well, I will answer the question, and then we'll go back to my scholarship question with Bernie. I will answer the question this way.
Holy shit!
I would like.
Oh wow, what's that?
What? Go ahead, Obsidian. I don't know what the hell Nordine just sent me.
I would like to suggest.
Man, for this video.
I would like to suggest that more women, in this case, black women, are utterly clueless about male mating psychology than the other way around. I would like to proffer that if anybody can make money teaching women about how men think, if anybody can teach the other sex about how the opposite sex thinks, it's men teaching women, which has been proven. The black love industry is primarily men teaching women how men think ostensibly. Steve Harvey, for example, who's been on the New York Times bestseller list for over a year.
I think the issue that we've had so far with females giving out dating advice is that their advice has been self-serving. And that's the main difference. If a woman is out there and she's truly being honest about female nature, which means in itself almost exposing who she is, right? And a lot of women aren't ready to do that. But if a woman is ready to do that, then the advice that she gives would be more valuable than what a man is giving.
And by the way, speaking of experience, that's the other thing that's really interesting about the female dating coach thing. Where do we see their stuff actually being played out in real time? Where do they give it demonstrations of it?
Oh, you saying how could a female dating coach for men give demonstrations of it?
Yeah, I mean, because
they wouldn't be able to. We would just have to take her word. Exactly. She's a woman. This is what I experienced. This is what I like. This is what worked on me, and this is what I think work on my friends and other women.
Right.
Or you could break down.
Hold it. But we know from the world of pickup, shout out to Mystery Method, shout out to Mystery and other guys in the pickup world, we see them in real time in the field, putting their principles into practice, not just with themselves, but with their students. Where are the female dating coach equivalents of real time application and their students putting into practice what we can all see and verify and check independently?
Well, she can't do a demonstration of her getting hit on. So I mean, that would be kind of weird. It's a weird ask that I don't think nobody can give you an answer to that. So it will turn into strictly a take her word type of thing. But a lot of the male dating coaches for men are operating on a take my word basis as well.
Exactly, and that's my point. That's why I'm getting at. See, I come from the white side of it. I come from the white pickup school side of it. I just mentioned it, Mystery. The game is in the field. I don't want to hear about your stories from 19 whatever. I want to see you in real time doing it.
This is the thing. The way that I could do it, right, is to and just keep people's identity secret, but set up a Tinder or something, for example, and start talking to guys and show people the messages and show the tactics that women would use to manipulate a guy. And I can show you that in real time. That's probably the most I could do.
The game is in the field, not online. Shout out to Mystery. The game is in the field.
Well, Jessica was just telling us her business strategy going forward. She gonna do that.
Darth Slothia says most women aren't, and if they were true female dating coaches, they would get attacked by women. If you go and look under the video that I did called "How to Spot a Gold Digger," go and look at the hate comments that I got under that video from other women.
Well, look at the hate that Mystery and all those guys got. That didn't stop them.
No, I'm not saying it's stopping me. I'm just saying I am exposing their true nature. And there are things in that video that no one else really speaks about when it comes to spotting a gold digger.
This is something
Nobody
you did.
speaks about those things. And so the women were angry. Why? Because I'm giving away their tactics.
All right, this is a video you did, right?
Yeah, she did. She did that video a while ago. 2 of her first videos was kind of de facto or full blown giving dating advice for.
All right, could you email me those videos, Jessica? I would like to review them. The 2 videos. Okay. Could you? I want to review those because see, my thinking is this, that and I've been quietly, monitoring this situation with female dating coaches, just quietly on the sidelines, monitoring it, and I remain unconvinced until they can show me real-time interaction, not online, not dating not online dating, not Tinder, not Bumble, all this other stuff. In real time, in a nightclub, lounge, some other type of social setting where they can show and prove their mating tactics and methods, I remain a huge skeptic.
But a lot of the time, it would be women giving other women advice. So if I was to go out with a body cam or something like that and show how to, speak to a guy, that would be advice to another woman. It's not necessarily going to be advice for a guy. So in that situation, your example wouldn't really work.
I know it wouldn't work because their entire business model wouldn't work. It wouldn't work if they had to stand up to the mystery test. Mystery is the baddest that ever did it.
That's what I said. If I was to show it, because I'm giving advice to men about things that women do when dating. And so I could show the example of just using guys I don't know on a platform like Tinder and just show how women manipulate men, how women waste men's time, how the games that women play. I could show you that in real time. Yes.
But that's just it. My question is, how can you be I'm talking about female dating coaches for men. How can that really work when you can't show anything in real time?
But what I can show you in real time is women's nature, how women manipulate men. I can show you that in real time and show you that it works and men are falling for these tricks that women are playing.
Like I said, until I see some actual footage of all this going down, I remain unconvinced.
All right, we about to get to this not so beautiful bean footage.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on with the file.
I'll set the stage for you. I don't
know what's going on with the file that you sent me. It's like real big and we can't see the whole screen at the same time. So I try to place it in the middle once I start playing. So go ahead and set the stage.
Let me set the stage for you. You got this blonde weave looking like Lizzo with her weave in her hand, looking like, I don't know, that she came out of a club.
Wait, hold on. That's her weave in her hand?
Yes, yes. That's the wig that she has in her hand. She, instead of her, kind of dressing down a little bit or covering up, she goes into a restaurant full of people. Now you see the family with the kids and all that good stuff, and she proceeds to, give them a piece of her mind, so to speak. And do you know that there are saps and the Quines actually defending her? I found it on Facebook this morning. It was disgusting.
Nerdine, you ain't find nobody defending this shit, man. I see that.
No, I'm saying there will be people defending it. Just play the video.
I'm about to play the video, but I strongly doubt there's defense.
I was like,
here.
Holy shit!
All right, we probably won't even be able to see all of it because it's kind of cut off. But here it is. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh wow! Wobble, wobble, wobble.
And she's happy about it.
Look
at the expression
her.
on her face. Look at the expression on her face.
Man, you're gonna have to leave, please.
She smells disgusting.
It's very
Is that it?
disgusting.
Is that it, Nerdine?
You know.
Okay, Nerdine,
I'm not-
Nerdine.
Yeah.
Why do we need to see this? why you do that to us, man?
The reason why I just happened to see it. I just happened to see it on I was looking at my Facebook timeline, and some of the guys that I know from the Black Man's Option travel group, I just happened to just take a look at it. I was like, holy shit! But the thing about it is, in the community, there will be saps defending her and quines that will fight. The reason why a lot of times they hate when you go outside and of the community is because they know that you're not going to put up with something like that, especially if you're a man with resources, a man with means. So a man with means and all that good stuff. Why would he fight and die for that? This is what they're talking about when they give you their ass to kiss. They're going out and not only embarrassing themselves, but embarrassing us, and that they want us to come back and defend that shit. I'm not doing it. I refuse to.
All right.
I was like, what the hell is that?
All right, nerdy. All right. New says she's thick though, but
see, this is what I'm talking about.
That's what I was thinking. Someone would say that.
This is what we're talking about.
She's thick though.
Yeah. This is I was hold on, Nerdine, pump the brakes. I'm pushing mute on you, Nerdine, because if you're kind of behind the stream and can't hear the person talking when they talking, so I gotta push mute on you. But all right, we was about to get off the air. I was just wanted to if Nerdine came up in the final minutes with a crazy video, I figure I'd just play it. What the hell? Obsidian, do you want to comment on that before we get the hell out of here?
No comment.
Yeah, I concur. Jessica, do you got anything to say?
No, just thank you for having me on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. We'll call it a show right there. I'd like to thank. Nah, man, I'm. All right, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that those are the saps and the quines that will have you fight and die for some shit like that, and I refuse to do it. Yeah. And yet when guys like me decide to go outside the community and give a woman of other cultures, we're called race traders.
My man New came through with another super chat.
To be fair, Nuruddin, are we really saying that the choices between going outside the country and what we just saw that display there?
Exactly. That's where I'm at with it. But I was letting Nuruddin. I let Nuruddin rock.
Outside the country at this point. I'm putting my passport to the sky.
To New, I know he wasn't serious when he said, "But she's thick," though. I know him well enough to know he was just joking. But I meant that somebody out there would be saying, "But she's thick," though.
Oh no, yeah, we knew.
Yeah,
we knew you was joking, New. Don't worry. We got you. But all right, yeah, we got to. Goddamn, Nuruddin. All right, we got to get the hell out of here. I'd like to thank everybody who liked the video, who hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat, came in, hung out. Everybody who hopped on the panel today. All of y'all know what it is. It's all love, respect, appreciation. We'll be back tomorrow with Brother Xavier. And you know how that's gonna go. We're probably gonna be talking about some old mamas and all kind of stuff like that. So
and you know what? That's probably a mama.
Yeah, oh no doubt. But all right, everybody. Thanks. Peace. We out of here.
Goodbye.
All right.